How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the TG podcast. We are here, as always, on Monday, talking about Arsenal. And yeah, man, we've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, we're talking about the Fulham result, more points dropped, another disappointing result for Arsenal this season. And also, we're going to be looking ahead to the game, Monaco Champions League, massive game in Champions League on Wednesday night coming up. But as always, we've got the regulars, we've got Seb, we've got Rory, we've got Dom, we've got Cooper. How you guys all doing?
Doing great.
Not bad, mate. Not bad.
Yeah, apart from Arsenal.
Yeah.
Seb? Yeah. Mad for me, obviously.
Yeah, all right, but mate.
Nice one. Yes, I mean, let's just get right into it. People, leave your thoughts down below. Everyone's link is in the description where you can all find everyone. Make sure you guys sub and follow everywhere on the social medias and all this. But yeah, let's get into it, man. Fulham result. More points dropped this season. Quick analysis of the game for me. I thought the start, we started off the first 10 minutes. I was like, I think we've popped the ball around nicely. I was like, you know what? We've actually started the game well. But it takes one bit of lack of concentration. The first chance of the game, they play a one ball through. Jimenez is through just like that. Great finish to B7 from him. And there's their goal just like that. And then after that, I thought it was really sloppy. Just so frustrating to watch. That first half. Obviously, we got the second half. We stepped it up a little bit as expected. We came out. We got the equaliser. People talk about Stoke City FC, set piece FC, all this again, corner FC, whatever. Big ups to Lieber. Havertz getting the assist. We got the equaliser. And then obviously we could have won at the end, man. Martinelli. I know everyone's got their opinions on Martinelli for that one. But man's looking at the line, he deliberately sees, he's looking across the line and he's still offside. Well, how does that even work? And, we could have won the game there. I know if buts and maybes, but yeah, I think overall, guys, 2 points dropped yet again. And, I think we're doing this a lot this season. And that's, for me, I'm not going to say the title in terms, of course, it's not over yet because we're still in December, but psychologically,
it's over.
For me, yeah, Cooper's like, no, it's done.
Sorry,
but
it's over.
Psychologically-wise, for me, it's like, I ain't got no confidence in the Premier League this season for Arsenal at all, bro. I think it's the cups for me, but yeah, let's get Cooper. I'll come to you first, my friends. Fulham, more points dropped. Give your thoughts about the game. Give your thoughts about the title race now and how you're feeling about that, bro.
I think the title race is over. It's amazing. Liverpool didn't even kick a ball, and they came out on top. Starting with the lineup, I'm sure we all have all this stuff, but the lineup, you take. You got two left backs on the bench, natural right left backs. Play them. What the hell do you have Kieran Tierney there for? And what do you have Lewis Skelly up? You brought him up. You never play the guy. You brought him on against Manchester or Man City, right at the end, and he brought him on against Liverpool. But he don't trust him to come on at Fulham. And then Kivior, he just needs to go. Go to an Italian club, wherever you go. Just that guy should be. It's not good enough, and we signed like 15 left backs, and we still don't have a left back. And then you take Timber, who's great at right. You take our best midfielder in Party, and you put him in at right back, and there's no flow to the game. That's why Odegaard and didn't have a real good game, and that's why Saka didn't really.
Yeah.
It's like it's like Arteta is like, and then you break up the triangle that's been going great in the 4 of the games that we won, right? With Saka, Odegaard, and Timber, right? We've been moving forward, and then he switches it up, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. Martinelli, his cameo, I'll tell you what, that guy can run really fast with his head down. He can look at his feet and he can do anything. He doesn't take people on anymore. He doesn't challenge anything. I mean, when I saw the thing with Maguire, he wouldn't even take him on. It was just incredible. And I'm sure every child, I remember playing soccer when I was little. I remember at like 5 years old, and the first thing they tell you is, you got to look for the offside. Like, you got to be outside. Yeah. And it's like, and then like his demeanor at the end, like, he gets pissed and he slams the ball, and the pestilence that he showed. I don't want him at the club anymore. And you know what? Neither left wing are good enough to play at Arsenal. They're not. Neither striker is good enough to play at Arsenal. They're not. We got Saka up front. Marino. We spent all summer chasing this guy, and you don't even play him in the 8 and put Rice in at the 6. Like, I at some point, I put it on the players, but the thing that I speak, and Josh speaks about freely, and we all kind of do, is like people like Saliba and Saka, they're not going to stay around. We all call like Fabregas, says a snake for leaving, but they left to win. Arsenal don't win. It's like year after year after year, and it's not a player here or a player there that we need a whole new, build a team around Saliba and I don't know. I mean, I'm lost for words.
Yo, no, I thought Cooper. No, I think you're spot on there, man. I think you're spot on. Starting with what you said earlier with a lineup, I 100% agree with you there.
Is it just me, by the way?
Sorry?
Can you just see a black screen, Cooper?
Yeah.
Cooper. I think your screen's gone off, man. By the way.
Oh.
Yeah, no. If you come back in and come back out again, and then it should come back on, bro. But no worries if not, it's calm. We can still hear you. And as you said, man, like as you said with a lineup, like Timber for me, as I know we've seen him play left back before, guys. He's done really well, but that right back, he's been phenomenal this season. And you see that right hand side, against teams like Timber, Odegaard, and Saka, that link up they had, and for that to change and bring Partey right back, I didn't really rate that. As Scuba rightly said, man, Tierney, I would have started him. I ain't using bias or anything, but I think he's a left back. Well, yeah, I mean Skelly was there as well, but at the end of the day, I'm with him there. Very frustration. I agree with a lot you said. I'll come to you next, Dom, bro. Give your thoughts on that Fulham result as a whole. More points dropped, and where you sort of at. Where you sort of at in terms of the title race now as well, bro.
Yeah, massively disappointing result, right? I mean, there can be no getting away from that. I think the players need to look at themselves quite hard after this one. I think really the game for me wasn't lost at the back. It was lost in our inability to move the ball forward quickly enough, with enough tempo. I thought it was much better the second half than the first half, sort of a carbon copy in many ways of the United game. It shouldn't take 45 minutes to do that. And I think we were far too centred down the right. And I think that made it much easier for Fulham with their 5 at the back to shuffle across when they know that's where the threat's coming from. I actually thought we looked better in the second half as well once Martinelli came on. We can discuss and, his role in the offside goal, which is, look, it happens a lot in the game. We're talking about it a lot because it led to a disallowed goal. He's not just the only one that does that, but it's very frustrating when you've got that space, you can see it and you don't need to be there. Although I'll give Fulham defender the credit for stepping up, a bit like Gabriel last season against United. But, Martinelli, if he wants to be an elite player, cannot be making those mistakes. But I thought the balance was better because we attacked more down the right than the left still, but much more balanced, a little bit more even. And I just think that the attack was where we lost it. I think if you're talking about the fullback decision, I said it on the lineup. No one wants to see Partey at right back. My issue wasn't so much with that. Miles Lewis-Skelly's just come back from injury. I get why he didn't start. I think if you start Tierney or Partey, at left back or right back, I don't think it makes much difference to the outcome of the result. I think this was just lost because we didn't attack well enough. And I think my big issue at the moment, and it's difficult because Partey has undoubtedly been the best midfielder, is I just don't think with Rice at 8 it works so effectively. I know it worked well last season towards the end, but I think sides have worked that out a little bit. And I think the balance has to be with Rice at 6 and Moreno at 8. I think that side looks better and more balanced than it does with Rice at 8. Now, Partey's the one that loses out in that scenario, and that's really unfortunate, unfair on him because he's been excellent this season. But just think that looks better. I know Moreno hasn't been brilliant this season, but I just think with a run of games that will come. But I think that's where it was lost. It was that forward 5-6 rather than the back 4 that the game was lost. You asked about the title race. I think the margin for error decreases again significantly. I said that we could afford one slip up in December. Well, we've had it now. We've got what day is it today? Let's call it the 10th. We've got 23 weeks to go of December. They have to be wins now in the Premier League. I think if we do win those games in the Premier League, that probably comes down to 3-point gap to Liverpool because they won't play their game in hand until 2025. Now, I genuinely believe that. And we come out December having won our remaining games. I think Brentford might be one of them, but that might be January now. I can't quite remember. But then I think the title race is still on. But there's no more margin for error in this month to drop ground. But I still look at the fixture list. It is kinder in 25 and 24. I still think Liverpool are running hot, and I still think that Liverpool will drop points at some point. But I also think Arsenal and City will drop more points. It's now going to be a question of who drops more. So I don't think the title race is right. But in summary, it's a poor result. Yeah. It's the attacking performance that worried me again this week. Albeit credit to Fulham in a similar way to credit to United for the way they defended, by the way. And Arsenal's margin for error decreases, but the title isn't over. And I know people will disagree, and that's absolutely fine. But I still think the title is not over.
I think that's some fair points there, man. Some fair points as always, and I definitely hear where you're coming from, Dom. And very well said as always, man. I'll come to you, Seb, next, man. It's what's your thoughts, obviously, on that result, that performance, and the whole title race now for you? How are you feeling about that, man?
I'm absolutely seething. Absolutely seething. The thing is, you can tell before kickoff that we were going to struggle. And I agree with Cooper totally. Look at that state of that lineup.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Why on earth have you got Kieran Tierney, a natural left back, on the bench? But yet you're messing around putting Partey at right back and Timber at left back. They've both been outstanding in their positions. Partey, he's been our best midfielder. He has over the course of the season. Timber at right back has been outstanding. Oh, I know. Let's move him to left back. Let's move Partey at right back. Every time he does this, the flow of the game goes because you don't have that anchor in midfield that can start an attack, and also Timber struggles on the left. Look, I know injuries have hampered things, but the fact we have actually changed the back line 9 times this season, and yes, that doesn't help when you haven't got a settled back line.
Yeah.
But what you don't do is you do not overcomplicate things. And every time he has done that pretty much, we have dropped points. And we've done it again. And then guess what happened when he did that? Oh, surprise, surprise. A poor first half, flat. Yes, I know we dominated most of the possession and Fulham scored against a runner play. But what did we create? Nothing. We did absolutely nothing. And then, for that goal, shocking goal you can see, both Kirill and also the left back as well. But Timber's not a left back. We had one on the bench. Is Kieran Tierney seriously that bad now that he can't get into the side? And people don't tell me, oh, he's not fully fit. Oh, he's been on the bench literally since the
He's
Sporting
back in full
Lisbon
training
game.
as well, man.
Exactly. What has he actually done, really, to absolutely be bombarded like out of the team? What has he actually done?
So you can't play inverted, obviously.
Yes, I know. It's probably not a tactical fit. But are you not telling me he cannot do a better job in that role, and Partey cannot do a better job in midfield, which he's been excelling, and Timber cannot do a better job at right back, then reshuffling the whole line?
I think Timber is obviously better at right back than left back. There's no question
There you
about that.
go. Well, there you go.
Here we
There
go.
you go. See, you guys know this yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Why can't this manager see?
Yeah,
No, he can't. It was the game. No surprise, the game was slow, and we have spent. How much money did we spend this summer and last summer? But yet, all we ever do, there's no flow to our play. All we're relying on is these set pieces. As great as we are at these set pieces, you don't always rely on them to get you goals. Because when you look at our expected XG, it is right down to 10th in the league. It's only 5.19, something like that. Something like that. I did my article today and I wrote on that. But it's not good enough. And did we not learn our lessons from last year when we played Fulham? Those are the two games where we lost the league. Those are the games we look back on. Lessons were not learned. Because when we played Fulham at the Emirates, he played Partey at right back again. He did that.
Yeah.
And then in that return game at their place, messed up the whole back four and the back line. And then what happened? Oh, we lost. Yes, we may have dominated possession. But did we really test Leno right up until and apart from one effort? No. I'm sorry. It's just not good enough. And yes, this manager is to blame. Look, I have backed him and I have said when he gets it right. But when he gets things wrong, please call it out. Because you think about this. He is like in his 5th full season. He has signed a brand new long-term contract. In fact, he signed 2 contracts without winning anything. And he has spent nearly £600 million and is one of the highest paid managers in the league. And this is Arsenal Football Club. We smashed Highbury down and forced out a legend, Arsene Wenger, out this club to go back to winning titles. Because when we were doing things like this under Wenger, we were forcing him out. I'm not saying Arteta has to go right now.
I am.
Honestly. Yeah, well, good. Well, cool. Good. If we get in a proper manager that will get better out this team, I'm for it.
Yeah.
I'm for it. Because this is not acceptable. Liverpool haven't even kicked a ball. Yes, I know they've got a game in hand. But you'd much rather have the points on the board. The thing is, you take full advantage of it. And City dropped points again. When they're struggling, you take advantage. And you've got Slot and Maresca in their first full seasons. In their first season, above us, playing better football, having a style of play, having our identity. I don't know what ours is this season. Yeah. I don't know what our style of play is.
In 6 months, they've done that.
Exactly.
And we've had 5 years.
Exactly. Embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It really is. Especially for Chelsea, who were an absolute crisis. We smashed them 5-0 a few months ago. And look at them now. They've got a style. They've got an identity. They know how to play.
Yeah.
We don't have any clue. This manager's been here for 5 years.
Right.
Yet all we're doing, we're changing up the back line. We're changing up the back line, and we've got attackers here who literally are out of ideas. Jesus, what has happened to him? Out of ideas. Trossard, out of ideas. Martinelli, out of ideas. Havertz, not consistent enough.
and not good
this
enough.
does not win you titles. It was criminal in the summer. We did not buy a winger or a striker, apart from a washed-up Sterling, who you don't even trust and bring on when you need a goal.
It's because we spent 65 million on Kai Havertz, who we brought in to play midfield, sucked at playing midfield so horribly that Arteta set him up, put him up front. And
Exactly.
he had a good ending to the year last year. And I knew going into the summer, we needed a striker, a proper
We needed a striker regardless.
a gunman.
You need someone to play with him. He looks a bit burnt out.
Well,
You need someone to play with him.
I don't even know where he's playing.
No one does. He doesn't stay up front. He doesn't stay. He drops deep and all this.
Rory,
You need someone to stay up front.
Rory, you were talking about this yesterday on your stream. Like we were commenting back, like, where is he? Like he's off to the right.
No one knows where he is. No one knows where he
Everywhere but up front.
No one knows where
As soon
he is.
as he actually got in the box, though, he got the assist, didn't he?
Yeah,
But
well, he
where
also
was he the
scored.
where was he the whole
It's
game?
not rocket science.
He
The
got
only
fucked.
time he's actually up front is when we're pressing from the front.
He also should have scored that header because Saliba was marginally close to being offside. Marginally close. Remember, he could have been out here with an
It
L.
was way onside, to be fair.
So
Yeah.
Seb, for you, the race is done for you, in your opinion.
Well, I'm siding towards yes, because I don't want to completely give up hope, because I never do until the final whistle or until I feel it's highly unlikely. But the fact is, we have drawn 5 games already this season and lost 2 out of the first 15. That ain't title winning form.
Conceded 15
Games.
as well in 15.
You've got to be near perfect to win titles. Near perfect. Yes, Liverpool are going to drop points, but we will as well. We still have too many of these kinds of results in us, which cannot happen if you're challenging for titles. We've got too many of this, and don't surprise me if we see it again before the end of the year. Don't surprise me if you see it at Palace. Don't surprise me if you see it at Brentford. Because this ain't good enough. 1 clean sheet out of our last 9 games. 1 clean sheet is not good enough. There's no style, there's no pattern of play, and it doesn't help when his manager is messing around with the back line. Especially when you've got fit players like Kieran Tierney on the bench.
Yeah.
And he can't even get on the pitch. But yet all you're doing is messing up, weakening your back line, and you're weakening your midfield. And then, surprise, surprise, we come out here, we come out the ground, drops points. Surprise, surprise.
And there's no.
I mean, people can easily point the finger at Martinelli. And yes, don't get me wrong. He should know better. A top elite player should know better, especially when you're watching your line, to stay on side. Yes, it's a mistake. And yes, okay, you have to give the Fulham player more credit, a bit similar to what Gabriel did to Garnacho. Dom, you said that. Yes, fair enough.
That's a quick
But
question.
when you're messing around with the back line like this, and you're messing around with the midfield, what do you really expect for you to even be in that position in the first place?
Yeah.
The main finger goes to the manager. That was a shambles. I'm sorry, 0 out of 10 for that.
Yep.
You got. Yes, I understand. The
You
frustration.
missed opportunity when these teams drop points. I've
got a question, bro, for Seb.
Yeah. Sorry.
Cooper had a question. He said.
Oh, sorry. What was that, Cooper? Sorry, I'm on.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Thank you. We ain't rocket science. Every time I mention it, Sebastian.
But I'm an American.
Watch the game first. Watch the game first. You can tell how the game is planned out.
Yeah.
15 years, and I understand. Like, you can watch a game and kind of what's lacking, and why if he's switching everything else up, why not put Saka on the left, and why not switch like other teams do it all the time?
Interchange play. There was no interchanging there yesterday. There was none of that.
No, but like they never his wingers. Like, why not switch sides every once in a while? Like, show them something different.
Yeah. No, guys. 100%.
I give the manager
wanna-
credit and praise when it's due, but when he gets it wrong, you can call it out and you can question it.
Yeah,
This is
of course.
Arsenal Football Club. We're supposed to be challenging for the title, yet we've got two managers in their first seasons above us. Whereas Mikel Arteta's like in phase 100. You kidding me? You kidding me? Not funny. Because I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this.
He's 100, you know.
Yes.
I'm
Not even
gone.
a joke. I'm sick of this.
Drew,
Don't you think I'm still hurting from those other two seasons where we lost the league? This was supposed to be our year. But the summer was a shambles, and this start of the season has not been good enough. Too many dropped points. We spent all this money to be reliant on set pieces and all that to get us out of jail. You don't get away with it every game.
Yeah. Nah, Seb.
Sorry, I'm really sorry.
Nah, facts, bro, you said it how it was, man.
Fine, bro.
You said it how it is, man. Listen, I want to bring in Rory, man.
Yeah, go on then. Go on.
Yeah, no, but Seb, listen, you said how it is, man. You said how you feel.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, that's next. Seb Bingo is the next.
Thank you.
Look at Seb Bingo.
Seb Bingo.
But Rory, bro, listen, man, more drop points this season for us. Fulham again, man. Fulham again. That's 3 times now. Emirates, we drew them. We lost them last season. Now we've drew them again, and we didn't beat them. You know. What do you make of that result, bro? That performance, and where you at with the title race as well, man?
We have no one but ourselves to blame. Every time there's an opportunity, 4 points behind Liverpool, chance to close that gap after Man City dropping points. Chadwick Boseman settings. We don't do that here at Arsenal. Crap. Again, against Fulham as well. Like, come on. Yes, Fulham have been good this season, but we're not competing with fucking Fulham here. We're competing for the fucking league. And, oh my days. So frustrating that I look like a right mug on my watch along when that second goal went in. Honestly, Martinelli, yes, it's not all of his fault because we still miss chances. Partey missed a free header for the second week in a row. Yeah, Havertz had an opportunity as well. But Martinelli, like, how? Just how? Gabriel Martinelli, you're not fucking Martinelli. You should be renamed as Gabriel Jones or something. You're not Brazilian. I said it weeks ago. We have to own pretty much the only Brazilian in the Premier League with no technical ability. And it's not even...
Are you talking about Jesus or Martinelli now?
Martinelli. Martinelli.
Well, Jesus can get in that category as well, the way he's going on at the moment, ducking out of challenges, or going for goal.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was just touching on the offside, right? The offside isn't even close. It's not even minimal. He's miles offside. Like, how can you be looking directly across the line and you're still offside? It doesn't make any sense. Havertz did the same thing against Chelsea not so long ago. Looking directly across the line and you're still offside. Yeah. I'm sorry, but you've got players not beating the offside trap when you're literally looking down the line. You've got players getting sent off for kicking the ball away. What the fuck is this manager teaching them in training? I think it's criminal that Nicholas Jova is on less money than Mikel Arteta at the moment. Because that's the only way of us scoring goals. I don't mind us scoring from set pieces because you use it as a bonus, right? Yeah. But you don't rely on set pieces to score goals and bail you out. Nah, embarrassing. Right, the lineup. Right, Thomas Partey is a right back. Just because he's done okay at right back, it doesn't make him a fucking right back. And if you want to stick with this cross-field play of, whipping the ball in from the byline, you have a left back on the bench who can do so. Funny enough, who you were relying on not so long ago, I swear in lockdown, the game plan was just to give the ball to Tierney and cross. Remember that?
Yeah.
So if you want to stick to that game plan of crossing the ball in, there's your man on the bench, Kieran Tierney. Moreno, why have we signed him for 35 million when we don't play him? Why? Is it because Mikel Arteta has accepted defeat with that signing? 30 million for what?
Yeah.
Well, what we signed him for when he doesn't trust him and he's playing a midfielder in front of him who is leaving next summer?
Who's 33?
Exactly, 33.
And you've
Oh
got-
my days.
And you've got one of the best sixes.
Laughable.
You got one of the
Sterling.
best of breaking up in Rice. You know, he was one of the best. He was one of the best in Europe last year. And you
Yeah.
got him playing that position. It's just.
Do you think players like Carrick, Alonso, Mascherano, them players, did they get bought in by Liverpool and Man United to play as the number 8, as like a box-to-box midfield role? No, they played as a 6. We're expecting Declan Rice to play as like our Steven Gerrard.
Exactly. Dan Potts said that, summed it up perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. Hence why I reposted it, because I thought it was absolutely
Of course
bang
it's
on the money with that.
Oh,
Right, Sterling. Raheem.
Echo.
Raheem.
Go.
Where is he? Where is this man? Where is he? He might as well have been on the watch along with me. What's going on?
the club didn't even want this. The club didn't even want this guy in the first place. But yeah, all of a sudden, we need someone, bring him in, and then you don't play him.
But the thing is, right?
Just a
He can't do worse than Trossard and Martinelli right now. He cannot do worse.
Joe.
Because every time we start one of Trossard and Martinelli, one of them gets hooked after 60 minutes. So the other comes on. I guess Trossard can make the odd impact. He definitely makes a better impact than Martinelli does. But Trossard, this guy sulks on the bench. But every time he starts, another fucking stinker.
Yeah.
And he's.
You know what I'm saying? And let's be honest about this, guys, right? Aside from Saka, you look at the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea, and Man City to an extent. Are they swapping any of their attacking players for ours, apart from Saka? Because I don't see them swapping, let's say, Sancho for Martinelli.
No.
They're not swapping Jackson for Havertz.
No.
Liverpool aren't swapping the likes of Diaz for Martinelli.
No.
Right, they're not swapping Jota for Havertz.
No.
This is what I'm saying. Man City are not going to swap Haaland for Havertz, are they?
No way, no chance.
So,
Yeah.
like, Havertz, I mean, I got so much slack for calling this guy overrated. And he's our most overrated player. Now you see why. Because at times, this guy's shooting is absolutely abysmal. Now, yes, I think he does need a rest. Because he's played so many games lately. But this same fan base criticised Olivier Giroud for the amount of chances he missed. When in reality, Olivier Giroud scored way more than this guy.
Oh, definitely.
So for me, Kai Havertz is our plan B. He should be a plan B striker, someone to throw off the bench.
What did I say before the Newcastle game? You all laughed.
I mean, look, I'm not saying get rid of Kai Havertz, but I've said this whole time that he is overrated by this fan base. We are leeching on to them 13 goals he scored last season. Oh, just imagine.
He's not scoring 20 goals. He is not scoring 20 goals to win us a title. He's not doing it.
Yeah, this is what this fan base was saying. He can lead us to a league title.
No, he
He
can't.
couldn't lead us to a bloody school trip. Is that, like, come on. At times, his shooting is abysmal. He should be used as an impact sub, and we should be signing a striker and a top left winger. Someone who can hold that position down, because we don't know who's playing left wing. We don't know who's playing left back. We don't know who's playing right back. I mean, like let's say Timber, not Timber. Let's say White is coming back from injury. Yeah, that position is going to be chopping and changing every week, isn't it? You're on mute, Seb.
No, I'm not.
You said something.
No, I'll just no, it's only that comment that came up.
Oh right, all right.
No,
right,
I'm not. No, sorry, no.
Oh yeah, it was
No, never backing a knife.
But
no,
I thought it was.
he's a problem as well.
First.
No, but
There we
honestly,
go.
I haven't got time to waste an energy with him. Sorry, this just is not good enough.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what sucks is like the Cronkies, they run it like a business. You think about it, we spent $65 million on Kai, right, for 5 years, and we signed Jesus, and he's on 275. He's on 275,000 a week. He's our highest paid player. Kai
What is he actually doing?
Right, nothing. And
No,
then,
nothing.
and then you've got Jesus, and then you've got Jesus who's on 250,000.
bro, we spent over 100 million for Havertz and Jesus over combined goals of
me and you.
Yeah, oh my god!
I can promise you this, Rory.
Come on,
I'll make sure I'm on side when I pass you the ball. It may be slow.
Yeah,
you're looking across your line. It should be one of the most obvious things,
right?
Yeah.
And you know what else is pissing me off as well, right? Another thing I got slack for: Zinchenko's our worst player.
He's not.
Yeah, well, he is, because after one game, not only he's a shit defender, after one game he's out injured.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Tomiyasu, I called it in the summer. What did I get in the summer? Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Tomiyasu's a good squad player. How can you be a good squad player when you're hardly fit?
Exactly. He's got to go.
Has to go as well.
Yeah, got to go.
He's played
today.
3 minutes.
Sunday. Perfect game for him. He would have slotted in at left back, so we wouldn't have had to worry with Partey as a right back. But no, he's always injured, right? I like him. Good player when he plays. But that is 40% of his game. The other 60, he's hardly available.
Exactly.
So it's time to move on.
What is actually going on?
Telling me he's a good squad player, all of this Nash. Seriously. When he's not even...
What is actually
how
going
long is
on
he out for? I've lost count.
Sorry?
How long is Tomiyasu out for?
No one knows. No one knows.
He suffered a setback. I don't know. I
said this in the chat with you, Josh, earlier.
Yeah.
Why is it like in American sports, they may play mind games a little bit, but you're going to play. And like with Arsenal, it's like Tomiyasu, right? He left in preseason. Didn't hear a thing. I didn't know what happened to him. Like, I knew he was out, but what did he hurt his knee? Did he hurt his ankle? Why is he out? And then he comes in, plays 3 minutes, and he's out again. And Arteta says nothing. Like, I don't understand why, like, here we get so much information about football players and, they're ready and they never miss games and they never, you know what I mean? Which I believe football players, not American football players, but I think proper football, like you guys, we all enjoy. Those guys are tougher than NFL players anymore. Seriously.
Oh, I think there's a massive difference between the two, right? So, there's a cultural difference. In America, you get listed as, doubtful, out. I can't remember how they classify them.
They put you on the injured reserve.
Yeah, exactly.
For 6 months, and you're out for 6 weeks.
4 games or whatever it is. Yeah,
right.
I mean, in some ways, that's really, as a fan, right? That's really quite helpful because you know where you are. Whereas here, I always joke and go, Arteta's not going to give you anything, and the injured players are going to turn up, with their wash bag, to quote the Zinchenko sort of line. Now, as a fan, I don't. In some ways, as a fan, you want to know who's playing early on, so you can sort of work out what the weekend. But equally, I'm not sure I want my manager giving the game away too much. So I've no major issue with that. Right. I want to be really clear. The weekend was obviously a disappointing result. My no question, right? Liverpool, big advantage without even playing. The psychological advantage of going to within 4 points of them would have been huge. And this is a massive missed opportunity. My issue here is the attacking sense of the game, right? I just think we almost look. We're not set piece FC entirely, right? We scored a lot of goals in the last few weeks that haven't all come from set plays. I know a couple of came from penalties, but we were in really good positions when those penalties were awarded where we could have got a shot away. Now, it may or may not have gone in. But we do look a little bit predictable. We almost look like we are playing for the set plays at the moment rather than...
We certainly did yesterday, and against Man United, I say we did.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. And I think that... This is what I'm saying, right? That can't be where you need to be. We need to return to that identity that we did have at the tail end of last season, where we moved the ball really well. And at times in this season, I know this season's been massively injury interrupted. That does impact your flow, and it does impact the choice you're making.
But if you're bringing in the best players,
well, no, I was going to say
you go and buy.
Hang on, but equally,
be messy.
Let him finish, man.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
But that never helps, right? Because you want to play as consistent a side as you can. But what we're not seeing here is, and this is where you do put it on the manager, like the Fulham result, I just think the players have to take a lot of responsibility for. I think the style of play, and I've said this when we were having a bad run, I was never concerned by the bad run because I think it happens. You look back on the history bar the last couple of years where City and Liverpool got to levels that have never been seen before. But you look at it and go, I didn't understand the attacking patterns. And I can't remember who said it now, but one of Rory, Seb or Cooper were talking about how we're not changing up in game enough to be less predictable. That's where I think we can be doing. I also think that the players can make decisions on the pitch and go, I know we've been told, I'm going to make a really simple statement here. We've been told to basically play it wide and try and work it in to avoid the low block because the middle of the field's congested. That's roughly, in very, very simple terms, the game plan. Well, I think the players probably need to be smart enough to go, do you know what? There's an opportunity inside here. That's where we go inside. Or do you know what? We've gone wide 10 times. They think we're going right because that's where predominantly we went. Let's flick it to the left and let's try and come down the other side. Now, we did that slightly more in the second half, but I don't think it should take. And I'm assuming there was a tactical instruction at half time to go, guys, we've got to mix it up a little more. The players should be smart enough and are smart enough to work out, do you know what? 80% of our players going down the right, they know that, and they've shifted 4 of their back 5 to that side almost before we go there. The players do have to take some responsibility for this one on Saturday. The manager, however, needs to accept that the way he set the team up from an attacking sense, he has not got right this season. The defence is one thing. That has been massively injury hit. I've already said that at some point Partey is going to need to play right back for a game because Timber needs to come out. He didn't come out this side, and that's where you'd have the criticism because I don't think Timber can go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games and then on top of what he's playing in the next 18 days coming off the back of the ACL. Now, ACLs aren't what they were, Cooper, when me and you first started playing, right? It's not cementing the old knee anymore, but there's still major injuries. So at some point, Partey, with the injuries to Tomiyasu and White is going to have to come in and he's going to have to play right back. So I have no issue with that. And I know why Tierney's not playing. I want to be clear. I don't think that decision is where it cost us. It was the midfield balance for me that enabled the attacking going forward. Yeah. That's where it was wrong at the weekend. That's where I would put the blame on Arteta from a selection point of view rather than the defence. Just to be really clear. But I also think the attackers need to take some responsibility for, do you know what? Let's just have a shot. Let's just do something that's a little bit different and use our brains. They are intelligent footballers. You can't play for Arsenal in this Arsenal side if you're not. The other thing I just want to sort of just reflect on here, there's always a lot of hate for Havertz. And I think unquestionably, I said it in the summer, that Arsenal will need a striker, but I wasn't surprised he didn't go for a striker in the summer. I can explain why, but I think I did at the time. Havertz at the moment has a goal and assist every other game at the moment in all competitions this season. That is not horrific by any stretch. I think the issue at the moment is the way we're playing, he plays a facilitator role. That is, as Rory pointed out, means he's going all over the place. I think he looks really, really tired, and he then can't make that last lung busting run into the middle, which is where we all want him. And when you get him in those central areas, his goal scoring record isn't bad, by the way. The issue, I think, is that there is no competition for him because, and I said this earlier today, Gabriel Jesus has fallen off a cliff, right? Was it?
Oh my God.
You know, and that means there's no plan B. Now, I don't think the game against Fulham was a Gabriel Jesus game. That's where you probably just want your you know, I'd have had Chris Wood ideally for the last 10 minutes. You know,
Exactly.
I'm being facetious, right, on that one. But you know what I mean. I don't think Jesus is a type of striker in this situation. But the point stands that Jesus, by not playing at all well, I mean, he's not passed. I mean, he was horrific. It is probably the worst Arsenal performance I've seen from a player since, you know, the days of Mustafi.
He's done.
He's done.
He's done.
He's 100% done.
100%.
But that is a problem for Arsenal because it does mean that that's an attacking player that isn't pulling their weight, isn't putting any pressure on, and it makes us too predictable. And that is a big issue, and that is the issue Arsenal need to address. You know, I said after the summer we were one attacker light in terms of numbers. We are one attacker light in terms of numbers, and I think they need to try and find a solution to that in January. I had no issue with Raheem Sterling coming in. By the Shakhtar game, I don't think he's been brilliant. I don't think he's been horrific, but we still needed one more. We are one attacker light, and I thought Sterling come in, I had no problem with, but Nelson going out on the same day, I didn't understand that. Now, I'm not saying Nelson's good enough, by the way, and I got why he went out. You send him out, he plays games, you increase the value, but we are an attacker light, and it means when you're struggling like this to get performances consistently, because Trossard is struggling for consistent form, Martinelli is struggling for consistent form, and Havertz looks knackered. It's tiredness from Havertz. He needs a game or two on the bench, right, just to get some energy back. I think there's the issue. We are one attacker light. It doesn't have to be the striker, but we are one attacker light. And then you've got Jesus really playing ball, which means you're basically a striker light because you've got one.
It's so sad to see. Like, I know
sorry, Rory, you're absolutely right. It is really sad because he looked some player before that knee injury before the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean,
look, sorry, I'll let you go.
I mean, injuries we've seen can ruin players, but fucking hell, I've not seen a bigger downfall. I mean, bro, we're bringing on, like, when we need a goal, we're bringing on Gabriel Jesus. We're bringing on a striker that scoring point isn't his. Sorry, his. What am I trying to say here? His goals aren't his strong point. There you go. I couldn't get my words out there. Like, bro, I'm pretty sure the paper on the pitch in the Tottenham Chelsea game had more XG than Jesus. Like, how fucking embarrassing is that?
Rory, I've got a stat for you on Jesus, which I think sums him up this season. How many shots do you think he's had in the 12 Premier League appearances? And I get they're not all 90 minutes this season.
I'm going to say over 50.
So how many this season? So
I mean, he had over, games. Oh no, he had over 50 last season, didn't he?
No, this season from 12 games. I get they're all not 90 minutes. How many shots do you think he's had? And this is, by the way,
I'm saying like 30.
Divide it by 5, and you've got your answer.
6.
What? Yeah.
Wow.
I triple checked that. I triple checked that stat before. I think I put it out in my video earlier, but I triple checked that stat. He's had 6 shots.
You're kidding me. You are kidding me.
No.
6. Oh,
unbelievable.
And when I saw that stat, it's what prompted that video today on is Jesus the one of the biggest problems Arsenal have in attack. And I think it is for all those reasons I mentioned, which is 1, Havertz looks knackered. 2,
my God.
You've got a couple of players out of form and you basically haven't got Havertz. It means you're 2 attackers, not 1 light. And that's what prompted that video today. 6 shots in 12 games.
That is our number 9.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
We have number 9
that by the way isn't tactical or anything like that. That is purely a player that is.
By the way, right, I know we're going off topic, but can we stop, like Kivior on Wednesday, right? Solid game. But I said in my match reaction after the game, he can do a job for 1 or 2 games, right? If he was going to come in for, let's say, 7 games in Gabriel's absences, that's where I will become worried.
And
Sunday,
I
mean,
your action, and you were right. You're right. He's good for
he
one
does
game.
this time and time again. Kivior, like the guy, he did against Liverpool as well, but every time, ball's up in the air, he drags himself out of position to win a ball that he just cannot win, and then lo and behold, he's out of position, and that's how Fulham and Liverpool, etc., can get in. That's how they scored, Fulham, because Kivior was out of position, and he went for a ball that he just can't win. He does it time and time again. So can we just stop with, but it can maybe be a decent squad player. He's a squad player at best. He's shit. He is shit.
It's not good enough.
He's not good enough for ours.
It's not.
And this thing, like, I feel like Arteta plays like a style. Like, he doesn't allow freedom with the players, do anything, create by themselves, or it's ticky-tacky football. Pass, let's make sure we have 600 passes, and we got 98% pass rate, and it makes no sense to me if you have the ball all the time and you're not scoring, you're just wasting fucking time, right?
Yeah.
And when you're wasting time, like I don't know what Nwaneri has to do to get in.
Why is he getting 10 minutes every game?
Odegaard was struggling, right? He's just coming back from his. Put him on for 40 minutes. See what he can do. Because
play them both together.
Yeah,
that's what we needed.
We needed a goal, man.
What does he do every time he comes on? He gives us that spark. He shoots. He takes chances. That's what I'm saying. And I don't think Arteta likes that. I think he's a system, like Pep. He plays a system. It's like Foden is a great player at Man City. You take him out of Man City, he's not a good player. I don't rate him. I mean, look at him in the Euros.
Yeah, and it's not been great so far this season.
No, and it's
Anthony has a higher XG, by the way, than Foden this season.
Yeah, I saw that.
What is it? I don't understand. What is XG exactly?
Expected goals.
Expected goals.
It's basically a statistical analysis of where shots come from, how many times on average they go in. It's not a great sign because if I'm a defender all day long, if I have a shot from 6 yards, a chance I'm missing it because I'm a bit shit at shooting. Whereas Josh will probably put it in the top corner. But in theory, if it would work out. So in theory, that would be a 50-50. Or 0.5 XG from the shot because Josh scored and I didn't. But if Josh took 90 of them and I took 10 of them, then suddenly it's 9.9 XG. But that's basically how it works. It's a statistical thing. It has its place, but I don't think you can overly rely on it.
Yeah.
I mean, and I just
we're back.
I like this week. What I saw, it was like we don't have one or two holes. Our left back, or our left, we need a left wing proper, not these. Look at.
I agree.
Left winger, striker.
Yeah.
I can't
remember what. Sorry to cut you off, Cooper, but remember what Liverpool had with Salah and Mane. You double up on Salah, it wouldn't make a difference because they had Mane on the opposite side. We need the same. We've already got Saka. So you get a left winger such as Lookman on the opposite side, then I think that will give the freedom Saka needs because he has 2 or 3 players on him every single game, so he never bloody gets protected. We know that already. We've known that for years. So you get a left winger, a striker, hence why Liverpool scored so many goals that season and eventually won the league. So you need a Gyökeres or an Isak and then another left winger. That is your front three. But it's mad. It's mad because when you look at the Chelsea team, I don't want to keep bringing Chelsea into this, but I'd say a goalkeeper or I'd say a ball-playing centre-back away from arguably dominating the league. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
And probably a striker.
And probably another striker as well because I'm not over.
Yeah, another striker.
I think they're only 3 away, but Yeah.
Arsenal are like 4 positions short
Mm.
still. And I'll tell you what, right? I don't want to make this seem like it's just the players, right? It's everyone. The manager, the players, right? The lineup. I'm sorry. I don't know why he tinkers so much,
Joke.
right?
Organization, there's just something wrong.
It's a joke.
Yeah. And the thing with Arteta, right? And I like that he's trying something different and but he overcomplicates it so much. I feel like he
Exactly.
wants
Yeah.
to mold players into like these positions
I'm trying to say this.
where, like, let's say Declan Rice is a box-to-box midfielder when he's not a box-to-box midfielder. He wants to mold him into that player. He wants to mold Havertz into this false 9 that's going to be a
Right.
nuisance in the box that can bang 20-plus goals. He wants Calafiori to be his left back when really he's a left centre-back. You know what I'm saying?
This is when
Why
I go
can't he-
on about. Sorry.
But why can't he utilise players who are specialised in their actual positions?
Exactly. This is
Sign an
why I
actual
always
left
go on
winger.
about.
Sign a bloody box-to-box midfielder, because it seems like you've given up on Moreno. You've
Yeah.
paid 35 million for him and he's not even in your first team. You're playing Jorginho ahead of him. No disrespect to Jorginho because he's been a good signing for us, but he's 33 and his contract is up next summer.
We'll probably extend.
Right, and look, sorry to keep rumbling on. I'll let you. No, Cooper. I will obviously.
No, I was just saying
I
we'll,
just
we'll
made
probably
that.
sign Jorginho for another year.
That wouldn't surprise me.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise
Sorry.
me either.
It's got to go.
But you know what else really pisses me off about the manager as well? He has, honestly, in his interviews, does he have some Mikel Arteta quotation book? Because he says the same thing every time we win. He says the same thing when we lose or draw. Like when we drew, we dominated the game. I've never seen any team go to Fulham and pick up a result like that. I'm like, excuse
We
me.
didn't win.
That's what I said earlier. You're
Excuse me, didn't Wolves 2 weeks ago slap these lot 4-1?
Yes, 4-1.
It's They're the bottom of the league.
And then they lost 3-1.
And I'm like, is this manager in
They're at the
fucking
bottom of the
denial?
league.
It's
This
manager
doesn't make
speak. Isn't it?
sense.
It's manager speak, isn't it? There's absolute bollocks.
Possibly.
Yeah,
This
like
is
when
why.
we win, it's I'm very proud of my players, lardy
And then
da.
what Rory was going on about for. This is why I said you can't have a squad full of versatile players. You need players in their position
Yeah,
that know what they're
squad
doing.
players-
Otherwise, you're going to get
squad
more
players
results
come
like
in.
this.
And squad players to come in for certain individuals that are injured. It seems like Arteta cannot play his football, install his style of football without his first team. If he's missing 1 or 2 players, we just give up the system. We give it up. And the thing is, right, the style of football did not need to be changed. We just needed to upgrade on what we currently had.
Exactly.
But every time something goes wrong, yeah, let's scrunch that up and just throw it in the bin. Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Last season, in fact, no, go back to 2 seasons ago, we played arguably the most attractive football in the league, right? Following season, after we went on that patch and we collapsed towards the end of the season, he wanted us to be more solid at the back, right? And it worked. Suddenly, what's the game plan this season? Real talk, what is the game plan? Because he's signed another dual monster in Moreno, and at this rate, you're just like, well, you turn into some Atletico Madrid or something.
Oh, no.
At least Atletico Madrid win things.
Yeah. It's winning
Is it-
football.
Is it
Winning
Moreno a
football.
5-year deal? Is it Moreno a 5-year deal?
Mhm.
I don't know.
know.
I don't think it's a 5-year deal because he's 28.
Yeah. But
So
nobody
I think-
wants these. And Arsenal can't get rid of these players because nobody wants them.
No, we can't.
Just really quickly on that, I think if you go back 2 years, right, I don't think the style of play in that first title challenge was sustainable. I think if you look at Klopp last season, again, it wasn't sustainable. I think what Slot's come in and done almost what Arteta did last year, which is gone to a slightly less sort of gung-ho,
Yeah,
gang,
preserve.
full gang press.
Preserve, yeah.
Because I think it's more sustainable over the long season, particularly if you're going for multiple trophies. So I think his style of play tweak from 2 years ago to last season was absolutely spot on. And I think that's what he wants to play again this season. So I think the signing of Moreno fits that system quite well. I think Moreno will come in and will get games once he gets back fit. He needs to stay fit. It's really annoying because he doesn't have a bad injury record, and suddenly he comes here and he gets injured. And it's very frustrating.
It's
I
the
think
damn car park they train on.
maybe. I have Watford got loads of injuries because they train at the same place near enough.
Yep.
It's literally over the other side of it. Where I do agree with Rory, and I think this is where you have to look at the manager, and where I was criticising the manager between October and November internationals, is that you come away from that style with injury. Now, to some extent, and I think this is important to remember, every team has a player they rely on to some extent, or one or two. If City lose Rodri, we've seen what happened. I think if they lose Haaland, we see what happens. They're not the same when they don't have De Bruyne, for instance. I think Arsenal the same probably with Saka, Odegaard, Saliba, right? Those sorts of things.
Wow.
Every team has those reliable players. And I think that's part and parcel of it. But what it isn't is Arsenal still have a team, and I know the injuries did impact this, and it is something we have to remember, but it shouldn't impact for as long as it is he did change the style of play completely, and that's where you have to look at it. And I said about Trossard and Havertz for about 3 or 4 weeks really struggled because I don't think either of them knew who the 10 was and who the 9 was, and I think that is on the manager. And I said so at the time. So I think that is an issue, even though these things happen. So I think the style of play is there. I think he knows what he's doing, and I don't think it needs to change when you lose a player. But for some reason, it is, and that's where he needs to work that out quite quickly. You know, Moreno, for me, should have started alongside Rice once he made the change at fullback at the weekend, and I think the balance is there. Just as it was once we got to half time, it was like, guys, we've got to attack down the left more as well as the right. But on that latter one, that shouldn't take the player. The player should be able to work that out in game.
Yeah.
Let me just throw out a question, right? Just one question.
Can I just ask one real quick?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
go for it.
Yeah,
I just want to, I felt like, 2 years ago, last year, I felt like we were more free flowing. Like I didn't feel like, players had positions and they were so busy. It's like they're so busy kicking the ball in front of the goal. Nobody takes a fucking shot.
Yeah.
It's like I don't feel like they can be, certain players like Cole Palmer, like he's just free flow. That's the beauty of him.
I agree, Cooper. I think what I was sort of getting at with that when I was talking about that attack, right? But it was too turgid, too rigid. That the players need to take that responsibility and just have that shot. We know Trossard can score. We know, Martinelli can get pace and just have a go a bit earlier. Jesus didn't even try and shoot. I think you're right there, but I don't think it's sustainable. And but watching that play was great. But I said it to Seb back in the October that year. I was like, this side isn't winning the title despite that start because it was never sustainable. So I get the tactical switch, but the players do. You're right. Need to have a bit of a crack at goal more. I said it earlier, right? In Fulham, against Fulham, we were almost playing for the corner rather than playing to score. And that needs to change.
I'm bored when I watch them. I never thought I'd ever say that, but I'm bored.
I mean,
I can't come up with any more excuses. Oh, sorry, Rory.
Yeah, no, carry on.
Oh, no.
You sure?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I was just going to throw out a question to the rest of the panel as well, right?
Yeah.
So the chant, 49-49 undefeated, yeah?
Yeah.
What's the last line of that chant?
Playing football the Arsenal way. We're not playing football the Arsenal way. No. But we're not playing football the Arsenal way.
What is the Arsenal way?
We grew up watching Arsenal playing fancy, exquisite football.
I didn't know.
Phase 5, Arteta. We're scoring from set pieces, which, again, I don't have a problem with, but when we're relying on set pieces to score our goals, it is worrying.
I just really quickly on that, two things. One, it is worrying when you rely on set pieces, which is why, again, I mentioned we were playing for the corners rather than trying to shoot. That can't happen. But I also think that it's being overdone with how much we are scoring from set pieces in the
Yeah,
last
if it-
in the last few weeks. Like that, it is fundamentally not true that all of our goals or most of our goals are coming from set pieces. They have in the last 2 games, but we've created a lot. Other chances we scored in other ways. I also think the Arsenal way is obviously very much symbolised with Wenger, and it was absolutely beautiful to watch. But actually, if I look at what I would call peak Arsene Wenger, it was power, it was strength, it was fluid going forward. And that last bit is what's missing. We saw that fluidity in the second half of last season, so first half of 2024. That, for me, was what I think Arsenal are about. But if you ask what the Arsenal way is, I think that depends on what generation you are. So I grew up with the George Graham 4-4-2, 1-0 to the Arsenal sort of
Yeah.
way. That is probably what is historically and traditionally the Arsenal way. I think we all prefer the Arsene Wenger Arsenal way, but what we don't want to do is go too far the other way, to Cooper's point, that we become boring to watch because we overpass the ball. Like Pep City is freaking boring to watch.
Yeah.
Arsenal at times when we overplay this ball because we want to be the Arsenal way on Arteta, that is also boring to watch. What you want to be is early years Arsene Wenger, because it's not the dull George Graham, which was very effective, by the way. It won titles. And you don't want to be this overly complicated, we've got to get 50 passes to score. You want it somewhere about that. And Arteta just needs to go back to what he did at the end of last season, because it was almost unstoppable. And he still has the players to do it. And I think the goals will, by the way, that defence will get better when it gets settled, if it gets settled. And on Kivior, I think you're right to some extent, but I also think if Kivior plays 7 games in a row with the same left back next to him for 7 games, I also think you don't see some of the silly errors he makes. I think he becomes more settled. But your point still stands that he's a squad player, but he's a lower end of a squad player. He's a player you don't want to see come on.
Yeah, let's be honest, right? Let's be honest, lads. Yeah. In the past, under Arsene Wenger, right, we had a much worse team, than we've got right now. And we were playing better football. We had man like bloody Benayoun, bloody Denilson, Squalachi. Like, bro, we're playing better football than we are right now.
Yeah, so's Ange Postecoglou, by the way, but I know which team I'd still rather have.
Yeah, but at least we were getting results. Them lot are not getting results down the road. Like,
yeah, I mean, look, your point is that Arsene Wenger, he had to go right at the end. There's no question.
yeah.
However, he was a phenomenal manager, and it saddens me that people forget that. It really does.
Yeah.
But I think my main point that I want to sort of say tonight is, look, I've made some. I hear the criticism, and I've made some of my own. I think what for me is really important to remember is, I get the anger, I get the frustration. Like, I share the anger, I share the frustration. But what I do think we do need to remember is that, just because we didn't win this game doesn't mean that everything is awful, right? Because I think there are still some significant parts of the season still to go, and I think there are the players here that can fix it. But I do understand when we're going for a title and you don't win, where that frustration, anger comes in and sets in. I do get it.
Look,
Yeah.
I just wanted to show you guys something.
Oh,
No,
I
I
love
at my
that.
house.
Wait, let me put your big screen, Creeper.
Brilliant.
That's the biggest positive.
Look at that. That is
Wow.
amazing, man.
I get a new flag every year.
Weekend. That's the only positive. We're leaving it with something.
Love that, Cooper, man. Love that, bro.
Every year I get a new flag, and because we're right where I live in New York. It's really windy, so it likes to tear that shit apart. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But
No, that was cool.
You're good, man.
No.
Cooper, can I just ask? This is not necessarily an Arsenal question, but I keep meaning to ask Tim this, and I never remember. What sort of? How many houses do have flags outside America? Their house in America, like most houses seem to have flags out of there, but I'm not sure if that's just a British stereotype of Americans or whether it really, really is true. Because and that's why I asked
American flags.
Well, American flags or any kind of flag.
Do you have a swastika?
No,
Well,
I didn't say a swastika. No way did I say.
No, Drew in the chat.
Oh, I was going to say
You.
no. I definitely didn't say that, just for clarity. But no, I mean, is it really, really common, or is it just a sort of a stereotypical thing that British think about American people?
When I was a kid, there were American flags up and down, like everywhere. You know, when I was a kid, you were proud to be an American. You were, you know, I enlisted in the service at 17. You know, that's what you did. You either went to college, or the kids that didn't know what they wanted to do, they went into service, and you were proud of that. Now in America, we have no culture, right? You know, everything's really bad in this country, for the most part. Healthcare, it's disgusting. But now, when you see, I didn't mean to get into that stuff, but now you do see some people. You know, I fly an Arsenal flag always in front of my house because I don't believe politically in what my country does a lot of across the world. But it does. There are more like team flags out there, but I'm sure when they drive by my house, they're like, "What the fuck? What the fuck's an Arsenal?"
Who?
Right. Or, like I said, the only people I know that I can, you know, like I thank Josh again, and I thank you guys for letting me in on Mondays, because I don't get to talk Arsenal with my friends,
Yeah.
because
Is
there's
it like me trying to talk NFL? Like everyone's going, who? What?
yeah, you can contact me. We'll talk the NFL. I mean, we got nothing to. We lost again this week. You know,
Yeah.
Giants lost again this week. You know, it's
Yeah. You think it's bad with Arsenal?
I. That's why it's like, you know, my heart is like, as fans, as true fans, you know, you want to be honest and you want to be forthcoming, right? You demand the best out of your team, and I don't think it's wrong to do that, but I feel like, you know, all we do is make excuses, you know, for the Cronkies and the ownership and Arteta. And the fact of the matter is, they're not going to go out and get a striker. And you know, you guys see my profile picture with Gyökeres. I wish. You know who we're. You know who. You know who
Oh,
we're.
bro, Gabriel and Gyökeres doing the.
Yeah, that was great, right? And even Gyökeres was asked about it, and Gyökeres said, I'd rather play with him than play against him every week."
Mm.
Right? Huge. You know, that says something. You know,
They have a great
he's
game against
interested in
Arsenal,
coming to
didn't he? So they don't
Arsenal.
want him.
Instead of taking that and going, sounds like he may be interested in playing for Arsenal. Maybe we should check into this. No. Today we're linked with Jonathan David from Lille.
Hey,
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the thing is, right? It's not going to happen.
I know it's
Because
not. Because
yeah.
there's always these names that we always hear, like Xavi Simmons. Oh, he's gonna come. Never come.
Oh,
You know what I
I think
mean?
you always have to be very careful with transfer rumours in the press in general, not just with Arsenal, but in football in general, right? I think you have to take, until they start getting reported by several reliable sources, I always take them with a pinch of salt.
So
I
do
actually don't think that Jonathan David coming in January is a bad idea. I don't think he's the long-term answer, but you're not going to get Isaac in January. It's not going to happen.
No, that's not.
You're not going to get the
He's on a
summer either.
3-year deal.
No, you might not get him in the summer, but you if you're going to get him, he's going to be a summer signing, right?
Yeah.
You could get Gyökeres potentially in January because he has a release clause, but that will
And-
depend on the finances because PSR point of view, if you pay the release clause, that's one hit. You can't spread that hit because you paid the release clause. So I don't know how
or you
doable that
can get
is.
Osman for 40.
I think it's going to be more than that, but I can't remember what his release clause
I think
is.
he's got a release clause as well.
He
It's
has
like 40 million.
No, I think it's 60.
60.
Something.
I'm sorry, you're right. It's
I'll
60.
take him. Another strike I'll take, but you just know the owners will not stump up the money. And look, this is.
I'm not
Look.
convinced by Osman, by the way, but I mean, I'm not going to. If they sign him, I'm going to trust Arsenal on that. But I'm not going to be overly sad if Osman doesn't come. He may be a success, but I have too many question marks about that one. But I think if you're looking at a striker you could get that is definitely affordable within PSR. I mean, it's like I know Arsenal's PSR, nobody does, bar the few at the club. But I would assume that David for probably 30 million ish because his release clause, his contract's out at the end of the season.
Yeah.
If he were to come in, I think that gives you your one light in attacking options right now. As I said earlier, he comes in. I think he's a good player with a good scoring record. He can't play in the Champions League this year because he's played, so he's cup tied. But that applies to Osimhen. It applies to it might not to Osimhen because it's Europa maybe, but it certainly applies to Gyökeres as well. He's also a player that would know that if he comes to Arsenal, he's going to be a squad player. So I think that doesn't preclude you from going out again in the summer and getting another striker. And the fact he can play a couple of positions means you can still get his minutes, and that's attractive to him coming in. So I think Dave, if you're signing David in January, I think that is a really smart signing. But it's not your final solution to the problem. I also, by the way, don't think Arsenal is devil players away.
Waste of $30 million.
I think they'll go with Tesco, mate, from Leipzig.
That's all we ever went for in the summer. Then what was a plan B after that? No one.
No one.
Yeah,
and they're
Exactly. I mean, look. I know I've given a lot of stick to Arteta so far this season, but I kind of feel bad for him at the same time because imagine finishing 2 points behind Man City at the end of last season, right? You come out in your speech and say we're not satisfied with this, we're going to get it, blah 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 blah, and then Edu serves him up with Moreno, Sterling, Calafiori, Neto. Like,
but
you got to feel for him at this rate.
Arteta has say in the players he gets.
Yeah, I do get it.
Players.
I do get it, but I feel like Arteta is in control of the whole club. It feels like, right? There's just, I feel like the owners, yes, men, like yes, Mikel, you're doing brilliant. Yep. Right, Edu, same with him. Right, we need a sporting director to come in, such as Alabi, whoever, to come in, can actually say no, Mikel. None of this Riziki or Mertesacker nonsense. He's going to come in, oh yeah, Mikel, play with each other. How nice was it to play with Arsenal in the past? What can we do for you?
Yeah, but
no, we don't need any of that.
You know, Alabi and Arteta have known each other for over.
Yeah, he signed him, didn't he, as a player?
Yeah, I mean, look, at least Alabi's experienced. Edu was not experienced at his job. Mertesacker's not experienced enough because I think he was managing in like the under. Not the
Mertesacker's head of youth development at Arsenal currently, so he's not.
Yeah.
I said
no experience.
We spoke about this a few weeks ago, right? And by all accounts, Edu and Arteta did have disagreements, and I think that's what it should be. There should be a healthy tension there to sort of liken it to the NFL. A GM and head coach shouldn't always agree. I think that's really important. But I think your point here, Josh, is it needs to be an experienced head now because this club can win things, and therefore you need to get the appointment right. And that person needs to come in and know their own mind. They need to fit in with what Arsenal are looking to do. I don't think you rip this up completely and start again. I think that when you're this close, I don't think you do that. But it does need to also be someone that will turn round to the manager, whether that's Arteta or not. That's a decision for the end of the season, but can go in. I mean, by the way, I think Arteta will be here next season. Just.
Oh yeah, he will be here.
He will be here next season. Whether that's right or wrong, as I said a couple of weeks ago, that's a discussion for another day. But they have to be able to come in and challenge this position. It's important. That is the job of that person there, is to challenge the manager, and for the manager to challenge that person. That's what a really effective football club does. But what it has to be is behind closed doors and in a really professional way. And by all accounts, that's what Edu and Arteta were able to do for each other. And you didn't hear about them disagree, but you heard that they did disagree, but you didn't know what over. And that is what you want to see when the new sporting director comes in. You don't want to see dysfunction where they're calling each other out in public, because that's not good for the club at all.
Just a question here from Wookie. Says to the panel, Dan, of course, Ashworth.
No.
He's left United.
No, yes or come on.
Why not? Or said, why not? I'm not saying I would either. I just want to know why not.
Yeah, I mean, look at the way it's panned out with Man United already. Like, really? I mean, I would take the West Ham sporting director over Dan Ashworth. I think there's better out there. You would not take the West Ham sporting director?
No. Tell me a good signing he's made. Or tell me 5 good signings he's made.
Kudos.
All right, well,
Kudos. Yeah, that's why I've moved it from 1 to 5.
Okay, Kudos, Fulkrug,
Fulkrug, what's he done
Todibo,
for
he's
West?
signed
What's
some good
Fulkrug
players.
done?
He's actually
What's
spent
Fulkrug done for
money.
West Ham?
What?
What's Fulkrug done for West Ham?
Yeah, but that's not his fault. Was it a good signing at the time?
Well, who's he hired as man? No, I actually never thought that was going to work. Who's he?
Really?
How's it working out with the manager?
Well, that's just not his. That's
Well,
not his
it
fault.
is because
His job is not.
Well, it is because he sets the identity of the club and then signs the players and helps sign the players and manager. I think that's exactly what that role does.
Okay, how much money?
I mean,
is Dan
don't get me wrong. It's much harder to do it at West Ham than it is at, say, Chelsea or Newcastle or Liverpool or whatever, because you've got less money. And West Ham fans demand a certain style of play, but isn't necessarily conducive with the money you've got. And that's not to criticise West Ham. They probably know they're not winning things. So therefore, if you're not winning things, you at least want to be entertained.
Okay,
but
let me ask you this.
I think there's big question marks over him.
I mean, would you rather have Ashworth over the West Ham owner?
Yeah.
Not the owner, sporting director.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. 100%.
What's Dan Ashworth done?
I think when you look at
in the last 2 summers,
was he in Newcastle?
Newcastle.
Yeah, it was at Newcastle.
So
how much money did he spend?
So if you look at Newcastle, I think Isak might have predated him, but I could be wrong. But he's brought in Bruno G. He's brought in Tonioli, which admittedly with the betting hasn't gone so well. But Tonioli is still a good player. I think Anthony Gordon's come in there. I think he's supported the manager deliver the style of play and has improved Newcastle quite considerably during his tenure there. I think also when he was at Brighton, he was a big part of the revolution. As they went from Chris Houghton through to Graham Potter, signing some marvellous players there. And by the way, signing some marvellous players there for peanuts and turning them into big name players. Now, does that mean I'd want him at Arsenal? No, I think he probably is at an exceptional Europa League level sporting director. Maybe I'm being harsh. I think he's the sort of do you know what? If I'm Tottenham right now, I hire Dan Ashworth, and they probably get a lot closer to challenging, because I think he's really good at that sort of stuff. I don't know if he can go out and sign the big name players that Arsenal are now in a position where they should be signing, and that's why I don't hire Dan Ashworth. But I certainly take him over the West Ham guy, and that's why.
No, I think he's signed some good players for West Ham as well. It's just West Ham cannot perform on the pitch. And obviously, it'll take time for them to gel. Like Somerville won Championship Player of the Year last season. Kudus is a quality player. Fulkrug had a quality season with Dortmund last season, who, of course, reached the Champions League final that season. I feel like the West Ham sporting director, Souček's another one. He's been a good signing.
Yeah, but that predated him, didn't it?
Wan-Bissaka's been good for them as well, to be
fair. Wan-Bissaka's another one. Areola. They've signed some good players. It's obviously the manager's responsibility to get them to gel. That's not the sporting director's responsibility.
Well, I think it's a bit of both, though, isn't it? Because and I'll let you come in here, Cooper. But you need to sign the players that fit what the manager wants to do, and vice versa. And I think there's a bit of a disparity in some of those areas where it doesn't quite tactically fit.
He's also signed Paqueta as well. A player that we were linked with. Yeah, Paqueta. Did he sign Bowen, or was he there at the time? I think
Areola, Bowen, and the other one you mentioned, Souček, all predated him. But Cooper wanted to come in.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're on mute, Cooper.
Am I?
Yeah.
No, I can hear him.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just want to, Josh, I got to go.
Rory. Bless out Cooper, man, every single time, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I look forward to talking with you guys.
Always a pleasure, man.
I hope you guys have a great week. And maybe next week there'll be some word.
Wait, Cooper, before you go, can I get a score prediction for Wednesday night against Monaco?
Hard to pick, but don't know what the are we going to come out and play non-inspired football again like we did this week, or are we going to come
Hopefully not, because we're actually at home.
Yeah, well, I will score because I doesn't score in big games, and doesn't score away very much, but scores at home. So I don't even rate him as. To me, it's a headless chicken. There's nothing up front. And if you watch Martinelli and watch Jesus play, all they do is run around. Right? They don't add anything. It's not like when even Arteta has to, but Arteta set this team. This is his team, his signings, his style of football. It's not the players' fault. It's not our fault as the fans for being tough on them. Like in the NFL, if you don't win, you're done. Like they give people 3 years and they're gone.
Yeah.
And these are
I agree Arteta has to take responsibility, by the way, but I also sometimes think the players do too. I think it's a joint thing. Now he's on mute.
Oh,
he's back.
The media doesn't ask him any hard questions. It's PRFC. And I got to tell you,
we'll see.
If I see another piece of fucking merch come out after a loss, I mean, they've always got enough for merch, right? New merch coming out. I don't even want to. I'm not buying anything anymore until
they want to give us everything but a trophy.
Welcome to the Premier League, by the way. I mean, I agree. There's merchandise and the sales is just ridiculous. And that's not just Arsenal. That's football in general. I think I'm starting to sound like an old man, but football.
They also want to give us a Zinchenko book as well.
Oh, out injured. I threw it at him. I started crying, and I said, "Zinchenko, man up!" And I threw a book at him. That's why he was injured. Sorry.
It's all your fault, Cooper.
Culkin,
What?
Man, like Macaulay Culkin,
Yeah.
Nah, bless up Cooper, man, every single time, bro. Really appreciate you coming on today, man, as always.
And I'm curious. Thank you, Josh, for that. You guys, if you haven't checked out his channel, do. And Rory, I watched your, and you guys got to go and subscribe and like. And if you guys I don't have a channel.
Cooper, have you got a Serie A team yet?
No.
Oh, you saying you got one? Okay, man. Okay.
Oh.
You're just enjoying it at the moment, yeah?
You know what? I don't want to pick another Arsenal.
That was an unfortunate point for it to cut out.
I want to see every once in a while. I'm not asking every year, but maybe once every 5 years, 10 years. But this 20-year bullshit is like
yeah, it's mad.
It's crazy. But anyways, you guys, I enjoy it as always.
Thank you so much, man. Thanks for your time, Cooper, bro. And we'll see you next week, yeah? Next Monday, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Take care,
man. Look after yourself, bro. See you soon, Cooper.
Later, bros.
Cheers, bro. Later, man. In a bit, man. So, just quickly, Seb, before we move on, what's your thoughts on this? Would you take Dan Ashworth?
No. Some of the signings he's done has not been good enough.
Okay.
No. Seb agrees with me. Oh my god.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want Dan Ashworth either. By the way, I was just interested in why not, just for the element of doubt. But I also think he's I like I say, I think he's a top Europa League.
I don't think he's better than Edu was. I think Edu was a better.
Yeah.
Who do you think out there's better than Edu then, Seb?
Well, there's a guy from Real Sociedad. There's Campos, and there's the
Campos. Yeah, that's a good show.
Campos. There's the guy the Real Sociedad guy, and
Alabe.
Yeah, I want one of those two, or even the one from Bayer Leverkusen.
Okay. What about the Bayern Munich one?
Yeah,
well?
I don't really want Thomas Rosicky. I don't really want.
No,
I don't either.
No, I don't want any more ex-players in any influential positions. I just want us to get the best possible person for the job.
Yeah, also, I know we're move on. I just need to get this off my chest. if you revert back to Chelsea, right, for a second, and people are obviously going to come up with the narrative about, oh, they spent £1 billion. Of course, they're going to be above us. Let me ask you this, right? How many of the players they spent £1 billion on are still at Chelsea right now?
Well, they bought so many, but it's impossible to say, isn't it?
yeah. But I'm just saying, most of them are gone.
Really quickly on Chelsea, I think what Maresca has done there is really, really impressive. Like, no question. He had the tools there, but no one at Chelsea had managed to get them doing the right things. At the moment, he has. I do still wonder how sustainable it might be, but he's done a really good job. He does have all the tools there, but he has got a tune out of them, and I think that's where he deserves a lot of credit. And that's where Arteta does need. That's where Arteta really quickly does need to improve this. Like, I had no issues with the drop in form when we had 7-8 injuries, right? And as I say, it happens to every side every season, pretty much. But Maresca at the moment, he's been lucky with injuries by and large, apart from James and Chilwell, but that's like constant, so that's no shock. But what he's done so far is really, really impressive. Arteta has to mirror that. He really does. Otherwise, to quote what we've been saying, and I've been saying it all season, is if Arteta doesn't deliver trophies this season, now's the time, right? You've had the time to build the squad. You have now built the squad, and now you have to deliver on that. And that's where I do agree with Seb, and I have always agreed with Seb on that point, is the time has to come. I had no problem with giving him time to build that, but we have now done that. I think Chelsea have done that. I think Chelsea have done that for Maresca. I think he also has a squad that is capable of challenging.
Yeah,
it's just been a car crash for a couple of years because Pochettino, which was somewhat a surprise to me, by the way, didn't get it done, and nor did whoever was before him. I forget now. They go through so many managers, and that's what does make Maresca's job there really, really impressive. And that's why Arteta has to deliver this year, because while there've been challenges, you've got the squad. Well, we either think they've got the squad and Arteta has to deliver, or we don't think he's got the squad. At which point you have to go, well, then do we have to give him another season to get the squad? I think he has the squad, and therefore he has to deliver.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that really annoys me as well, right? How many points did Liverpool finish below us last season? Most importantly, how many points did Chelsea finish below us?
Well, I mean, it's a fair point, right? But again, the tools were there for that. And I think if you look at Liverpool almost scarily mirroring Arsenal, not last season, but the previous.
But how many tools do we need, though?
Sorry?
How many tools does this manager need?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think he has the tools.
Exactly.
I think he has the tools, right? Well, you either think he has the tools, as I said, and therefore he has to deliver, or you don't think he has the tools because you don't think Edu's built him a good enough squad, at which point then you have to, I know Edu's gone, at which point you have to go, well, at that point, where's the manager at? Does he need longer? I happen to think he has the tools here. So does Maresca, so does Slot. And two of them are delivering more than the other at the moment. And that's where, as I say, you get to the end of the season, you have to question Arteta's future. But I think both came in and had the tools, and that's why they're doing quite well. I also think that with Slot, as I say, the point I was going to make was Liverpool scarily echoing Arsenal from 3 seasons ago to 2 seasons ago, where they've made that slightly sustainable switch, and that's what makes them that's what's making them so effective this year, is the control is there, and that is credit to Slot.
Yeah, 100%. But we still shouldn't be below them at this period of the season.
I agree we shouldn't be, but I still question whether we will be at the end of the season.
If that's the case at the end of the season, that just goes against all the phases and processes, right?
Exactly. That's what
I've been
trying to say all this time.
Yeah, put it this way, right?
Trying to explain you.
If Liverpool finish above us, or if they win the league ahead of us, or oh my God, if Chelsea do it, then I'm emotionally checked out. But if Liverpool win it, either one of Liverpool or Chelsea win it, then obviously manager needs to go, unless if he obviously wins something, and obviously mounts ourselves into a title charge again. But if he doesn't get sacked at the end of the season, pretty self-explanatory. I want the owners out.
Yeah.
At this rate, I mean, I wouldn't have blamed Arteta. If he was still here finish below both Liverpool and Chelsea without no title charge, without no trophies, then yeah, obviously he's got to go, but it's not to blame if he does not get fired. Right? And it's always been the owners. Right? Fans have been letting them off the hook. Honest, spent money. You can be shit owners, but still spend money. Look at the amount of money Man United have spent over the last decade.
Yeah.
Just
They're too nice. They're too friendly. They don't have the ambition of winning.
just on the ambition, by the way, I think they had the ambition to win.
No, they
'cause you look
don't.
no. This is an important point because I'll tell you why. You look at the franchises they own across sports; they're all winning franchises apart from this one. I think if we don't win this one here with Arsenal, I don't think it's a question of lack of ambition. I think it's probably a question of lacking quite an understanding of how to put it together because soccer, and I hate calling it soccer, but for the purpose of this conversation, it works quite well, is a very, very different game and a very different way of doing things to all of their other sporting franchises. And therefore, it would probably talk more to that than a lack of ambition. I don't think this ownership group lacks ambition. I think it would be a question then of getting the right decisions in place. So to Josh's point about, does this undermine phases? No, it doesn't undermine phases. The reason it doesn't undermine phases is because Arsenal had to go through that. And this is really important. This is no, you can do this all you like to, but you can never answer the question, how do you build it in one season? So therefore, it has to be this. So we go from where we were, right? A lot of things were really, really broken. Almost the entire squad has been turned over because it needed it. I mean, Seb himself said when there were 5 players out of that squad of 23, 24, 25, whatever it was, that he would have kept at the time. You can't do that in one season. So therefore, and you're not a good side, so you're not going to go out and sign Haaland or whatever the equivalent was 5 years ago because they're not coming because you're not good enough to attract them. So therefore, you have to go through them. What it does say is we've gone through the phases and the phases have been successful to the point that we now have a squad that should and could win this title. What it then says is actually, and this is where I'd have to hold my hands up and say I'm wrong, the manager isn't good enough to get it. And this is where I do agree with Seb that you do sack the manager, but what I do and getting a new one, what you do have to do is give that manager time rather than just go like that. And you have to provide context for things around where they are because sometimes there are other things. So no, it doesn't undermine phases. What it does mean is that we can't execute successfully the last phase, which is where we are now, which is winning things. And I've always been very consistent on that. The phases are done because we're here. We are now here, and that's the standard you judge them by. You can't judge them by Real Madrid standards when you are here, which is where we were. And that's why the phases had to be in. And that's why I talk about phases. But we are now in a place where, no, phases are done, and we have to win. And that's fact, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, let me just come in for a sec, because obviously, say if we do get a new manager in, right? Every manager, from my point of view, they can have, obviously, the full season, show us what you got, and say if you get top 4, you win a domestic competition on the way, yeah, you get another season, right? You don't kick on, you're sacked. It's not, for me, I agree with Dom, yeah. Obviously, if you don't get top 4 and you still win something, and you have a season where hit and miss, but you still win something, then that's when obviously you don't sack the manager. And I think, obviously, Seb, I've agreed with you pretty much this whole podcast, which is a rarity these days. But I've got to admit, right? You do send these screenshots about Real Madrid, no, like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, whatever, X, Y, Z. But then you say phase 2, phase 3, or should I say phase 1, phase 2? Oh, look what phase they're in. So
yeah, what phase are they in when they do all this?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like,
it's win or out.
But the thing is, like, you refuse to count phase 1 and phase 2. That's what I'm getting at.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you do, because you literally sent that. That's pretty much a screenshot of Real Madrid and them refusing any sort of phases.
They don't do phases. So they don't do phases.
Well, of course they don't. They don't need to because they never dropped.
Because you don't if you're an elite club. You don't if you're top club. It's win or out.
Well, of course it is. The point we're talking about,
because
and you refuse to accept, is when you're not elite club, how do you get back there? That's when you have to do phases. When you are there,
Yeah.
you shouldn't need phases. In Manchester City, maybe one season, like this season and possibly next, because they've got too old too quickly. But then they're back to it, right? They're going to need to have a bit of turnover. That will happen always. Ferguson had the odd season where he didn't win things because he had to turn the squad over because it needed it. But Liverpool have never, for the last 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it is, have never, they're an elite club. They don't need the phases anymore because they're there. City, there. Arsenal, now there. Real Madrid never left it. So you don't need phases when you're that big, bar the odd season where you had to go, do you know what? We need to turn 3 or 4 things over and it might not work this season. But that's a one season and you're back, right? Not 3, 4 seasons.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
the point of phases is it applies to clubs when they are no longer elite and they have to get back there. Manchester United need to do that now. They were an elite club for 20 years. Liverpool had to go through it from the late 80s, early 90s through to pretty much, well, it started to come back under Brendan Rodgers, but really Klopp, right? Nearly 30 years. It shouldn't take that long. No way should it. But when you've dropped that far, you're not getting back overnight. And that's the difference between the two.
yeah, I mean, look, even with Real Madrid, right, they appoint a manager, you're still going through that phase 1. Regardless. You just are.
No, I don't think so. I think if Ancelotti is sat right now, yes, let's say I don't know.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter who comes. Pochettino comes in. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of an out of work manager. Or Alonso comes in.
Alonso,
And he doesn't win anything this season. Like, let's say Ancelotti loses his job today. Alonso comes in. It's not a question of phases, but you don't sack him at the end of the season unless Real Madrid finish miles away if he doesn't win anything. But straight away next season, you'd expect him to win something because he's inheriting a squad that's ready to win. But same with Slot right now. Arguably Maresca, although he's been impressive, I think really top 4 was probably the aim rather than the title. I still think that's where they're going to end up, by the way, because he's got the foundations there. He should be getting top 4. That's the squad he inherited. But if you are Ruben Amorim in with Manchester United, well, you're probably looking at top 4 in 2 years' time, probably. Maybe next year you can take a bit of a shortcut because they probably won't have Europe. But you're not expecting a title challenge from them for 4 years, and that's pretty much where Arsenal. Right? I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, they are. They're playing Tottenham, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're playing Spurs. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the difference, right? And that's why I talk about phases. The phases, Arsenal are now through them, right? We're in win now mode, to use the American expression.
Yeah, there we go. Guys, let's move.
Wookie wants us to talk about Charlie Patino.
Yeah, Charlie Patino. Nah, he's not having it today. I can't even.
No, that was obviously a joke.
Let's move to the final topic.
No comment.
What's that, sir?
No comment.
No comment. All right.
Yeah, can we just have a stream where me and Seb agree? Thank you.
Let's move to the final. Thing we're talking about today. Champions League night on Wednesday. Monaco at the Emirates. Look, only 3 games left, man. We're in a good position. We're in the top 8. Monaco are joint points of us. We're both on the 10 points. Obviously, I've been looking at them this season. They're currently third in their league, and I think they're 5 away from PSG. They're joint second with Marseille. Obviously, Champions League as well have been doing really well. They beat Barcelona. Hansi Flick's Barca this season 2-1. And they battered, I think, Red Star 5-1. But they did lose like Benfica the other week. I think it's 2-0 up as well, and they bottled it. So they lost 3-2 there. But other than that...
They Spursed it, you mean?
Yeah, they Spursed it, 100%. Going 2-0 up and bottling it, that's Spursy, But, listen, other than that, I think, they're decent side, man. I think they've got some decent players in there. I mean, I put Balogun in the thumbnail because I thought he's going to be coming back, but he's actually injured. So he's got a shoulder injury, so he's missing the game for this one. So he won't be coming back to the Emirates, guys, playing. But I mean, you guys will remember Minamino. He plays for them from Liverpool. Liverpool player, of course.
He's always put up the goal against us. I don't know why.
He did. No, he did in that 4-0.
He did, and in the 2-0 in the Carabao Cup. Carabao Cup.
In the 5-5.
No. The 2-0 didn't he at the Emirates?
No, that's Jota, both goals.
Oh, is Jota both goals?
Oh,
Oh no,
it's always Jota.
he scored in the 4-0, didn't he? Then
Yeah, the 4-0.
yeah, the 4-0. Yeah, so yeah, they got him
Yeah,
there.
he
they
did.
got
They have
Golovin.
I can't pronounce his name, but it's that Akalushi. Is that how to pronounce his name? Apparently, he's a baller.
The winner. Yeah.
Yeah,
They got that Ben guy, that Moroccan 19-year-old who's like the top goal scorer. He's got like 5 goals this season for them. He's like 19. He's like Ben Sheikhi or something. I don't know. But yeah, he's good for them. They got Golovin as well. If you guys remember the Moscow game, like years ago, he scored twice against us, didn't he? Like 2 free kicks.
He scored 1 free kick, yeah, and the 4-1, yeah.
And then he scored.
Oh yeah, and in the 2-2, yeah. But
yeah, he scored twice. So you know he's decent.
I wanted him at the time he went to Monaco.
And do you remember do you remember that World Cup he had with Russia as well?
Yeah, I wanted him then.
But the thing is, I never rate this tournament hype though.
No.
Yeah, I hear it, man.
I go back to Euro '96 with Poborski and Cruyff at United signed, and they were awful. And that was my first sort of experience of people signing people in the back of tournaments going, wow, God, United are going to be awesome. And then they were awful for them. And you can see it through the history of how often a player suddenly shines at a tournament and then nothing.
But this is, going to this game, this is how it could go. I mean, we win the game, we'd be in a fantastic position. And I think we win these next 3, we're going to get top 8. If we lose, it's really tight. The teams who play, obviously, the same night as us. We can fight if the results go the bad way for us and we lose the game, for example. We can go from, I think, 7th now, all the way down to, I think it's like 12th or 13th, just like that. That's how tight it is.
We've got to win all our games.
We have to win all these games, man, because, I mean, you look at like teams like Real Madrid, I mean, they're struggling at the moment to even get in the top 8. I think we'll see some surprise at Atletico.
Paris Saint-Germain on 25th.
PSG,
1 point above the elimination spots.
Yeah.
Real Madrid are 2 points above it, but 1 place.
Yeah.
No, I think it's 1 point.
No, I've got it in front of me. It's 2 points.
Yeah. So
don't argue with the fact man.
The guy loves his facts.
You might be dressed as a Pokemon, but the fact man knows.
Bro, my hair's in a fucking pig.
But yeah, I mean, look, this obviously you guys remember when we played them 2015. Emirates, they done us 3-1 that season.
That was awful.
But that Monaco team was incredible. I can't even lie. Some of the ballers
Didn't they get the semi-final that year?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we were awful, but Monaco is one of those ones.
No, it was a year after they won. The year after
they
when
they had Mbappe, they got semi-final, didn't they?
Yes, that was the year after. That was a year after that.
Yeah.
No, it was 2 years, wasn't it?
But we didn't play Mbappe when he was.
The year after that, they beat City and they won the league.
That team was my days.
Yeah, they did go
to Monaco 5 years ago. Then I'll be bricking it. I can't lie.
Yeah.
We're talking probably the best team in the competition.
Yeah, exactly, man. Their score is insane. But I mean, going into this game, I'm still confident. I think we will win these, next 3 games.
We have to.
And I think we will get top 8 because obviously, as I said earlier, like we don't even play these other 2 games and just extra 2 games, and anything can happen in that as well. And we may not even make the last 16 if the worst comes to the worst, and then we'll be knocked out just before there. But listen, at the end of the day, I feel like we will win this game. My lineup wise, I'll get you guys' thoughts in a minute on your teams as well. For me, I'm going to go Rory in goal. I think we've got to go pretty strong, man. It's a must-win game. So I'm going to go Rory in goal. I'm going to put Timber back at right back. I'm going to go Saliba centre back. If Calafiori's back, which again I think Gabriel, they're both doubtful, I'll play Calafiori left centre back, and I'll play Tierney. Yeah, 3 Tierney at left back right there.
If Gabriel's fit though,
then Gabriel and then Tierney.
We don't know if coming back until his press conference. Yeah.
Calafiori.
We won't know at the press conference either. He won't tell us anything.
You can't drop your Italian, bro.
Arteta keeps his close. He plays some mind games as well, man.
I've no problem with that, by the way. I've no problem with that.
Yeah, I've no problem with that.
Well, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Italian, Josh.
What's that?
You can't drop your Italian, Josh.
No, he centre back Rory.
He was playing left centre back.
Yeah, but if Gabriel's fit.
Oh no, okay,
Yeah,
Gabriel.
but he was saying that if Gabriel wasn't, that's what he'd do. By the way, just
Yeah, we
really
just
quick
got
on the
Tierney
lineup.
ahead of Calafiori.
On the lineup, I can understand Cooper's frustration because of
Yeah.
the culture
I
of
think
American
I think
sport.
Tierney against Crystal Palace in the League Cup would be the perfect game for him.
Yeah, but if Calafiori and Gabriel both out, then you got to play him, surely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's going to play Partey as a right back.
Yeah,
again.
that's what it'll
Timber at
do.
left back. That's just inevitable.
Midfield wise, obviously, I'm going to go Partey, Odegaard, and because Rice has been playing so well. I know we talk about him in a minute, but the past couple of games he's been superb, man. I thought he's best player
agree.
by the way, so I'll keep
I
him
think
there.
he's slowly getting back to his best.
Yeah, 100%. And then the front three for me, Saka on the right, Havertz on the middle, and then honestly, it's a flip of a coin for the left wing. I'll go Trossard on the left for me, but yeah, that'll be my team. I'll come to you. I'll come to you first, Seb, mate. How are you feeling going into this game, and what'll be your team as well, man?
Well, we have to respond. We have to respond. This ain't going to be a straightforward game. This is going to be tricky.
Yeah,
because they're doing very well in the Champions League, and we're coming on the back of this with a setback. So the players need to up their game, because if we don't win this, the mood is just going to be down enough as it is. It's going to be even worse. Trust me, and that's not what we need going into these games. But they owe us a performance, and there better not be any messing around with his team selection. Don't want this again, because that's just asking for trouble. And that does not mean play Partey at right back. That is not an option. Really,
well, it is an option if your name's Arteta.
It's not an option. That's not to happen. You put him back in his rightful position, or you rest him for this. But you do not play him out of position. But yeah, team-wise, well, depends who's coming back. If Gabriel and Calafiori are back, then you put them back in. If who else is out? So we got 4 defenders out.
Zinchenko's out.
Oh dear. And yeah, another thing. Why have we waited till now to give Ben White this operation? It was going on from last season. Why didn't he have it in the summer? You weren't at the Euros.
Where's Ben White come from?
You weren't at the Euros. This gives me another conversation. And then you wouldn't have this problem about playing Partey out of position. You wouldn't have this problem.
But even if he's fit now, he doesn't get back in the team set.
Where's the?
Oh, well, he was yesterday. If you put him at right back and then Timber left, that would be better. As much as I don't really want Timber, at left back, and I'd much rather have a proper fit Kieran Tierney there, that will make more sense. He waited, but no, he waits till now. Oh, right. Well, Tommy Ashley's coming back. Right, give him the operation. He's down.
I think the answer is, and I think the answer, and we can only go by what the Arsenal medical staff say.
It was going on from the back end of last season.
Bro, where has this come from?
I know. I mean, we don't know, right?
I'm sorry, but this is all management. Yeah, but you keep saying this, but the thing is...
Oh, because you say ridiculous things.
I don't.
But the thing is, when you're a manager, right, you have to rely when it comes to medical stuff on the medical experts, right? Any manager, any club. I would assume that the medical staff advised that actually with a summer off, White will recover. I'm assuming that, well, obviously they were wrong, but I'm assuming that's what the advice was to both White and Arteta. That's why the operation wasn't done then. White's tried to get through the season. He's played through while injured, made it worse. And they feel they've decided the operation is the only way forward. I'm assuming that's what's happened, right? That has to be a medical staff decision that Arsenal will have followed the advice on. You don't, when you're not an expert on stuff, and no manager is an expert on injuries and what have you, you have to follow the medical advice. It's as simple as that. Yeah. But the question is a good one, right? Why wasn't it there? But that will be almost certainly the answer. And look, doctors will get it wrong from time to time because everyone's body is slightly different. You'd like to think that Arsenal are going to employ some of the best and get it right more often than not, but you just don't know. You have to follow the medical advice, whoever you are, at whatever club.
Yeah, but Seb, what's your rest of the lineup, man?
Well, hopefully Calafiori and Gabriel will be back, because if they're back, you put them in. But if not, you play Timber right back, Saliba. I'll do this assuming they're not back.
Yeah.
then yeah, I guess you have to play Kivior. As much as I don't rate him, you have to put him there. And then left back, if Zinchenko's not back or Calafiori's not back, you play Kieran Tierney. You just do that. He's got to play it sometime. You can't just freeze him out and that. Even if you want to get rid of him, you still got to give him a run again so you can get more money. So you just freeze him out, the price is going to drop.
Are we forgetting Lewis Skelly as well?
Yeah, obviously him or him.
Well, Lewis Skelly,
or him. But I'd
Lewis-
rather Kieran Tierney, a proper left back, because Lewis Skelly's more than midfield.
Really?
Lewis Skelly isn't a left back, and he's also only returned to training a couple of days ago.
Right, midfield. Partey back in midfield with Odegaard and Rice. Ain't rocket science, Mikel. Then the forwards line, Saka. I'm going to go Saka, Martinelli. I'm going to go Trossard down the middle. I think Havertz.
Oh, dropping Havertz.
I think he could do with a game out the side because he looks knackered. I think it would not be a bad thing if we did that.
What about playing Martin down the middle?
Well, he hasn't really played down the middle, but Trossard has. And when he's
in his first season.
Yeah, but it was actually working. But when he at least try something think about something instead of just doing it. I honestly would not be against that, but we'll have to see what happens. But that will be my team. What about yours? And yours?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we'll do predictions all at the end. But yeah, no, that's a fair team, man. I mean, I'll start Havertz, but I hear where you're coming from, man. I'll come to you next, Dom, bro. How are you feeling going into this game, and what would be your lineup as well, man?
I'm quite confident, right? So, the reason I've been more positive than everyone else on this is because I just think that Arsenal is still going in the right direction after that blip. I think Arsenal will return to winning ways on Wednesday. I think Seb's right. If we lose, that's God, the reaction is going to be awful in the fan base. I think I use the word toxic. Will return, and that's but I think Arsenal will win. I think they'll have too much for Monaco. Monaco doing really well, deserve respect.
Yeah.
But I think this is the game. If you're Arsenal, you can almost put the Champions League to bed if you win this one, because you should be beating Girona and you should be beating Zagreb. It's the other way around. I think it's Zagreb then Girona. So I think this is the one. You win this, you're 13 points. That's not enough, obviously, but I think you go to 19 and you're through. In terms of lineup, I think it's really difficult to say on the defense because you just don't know who's fit. But you go Raya in goal. I think Gabriel will probably be back. I'm not so. If he's back, I think it's Kivior moves to left back. Saliba is a right back. Because I think Timber needs a rest. I really do.
Sorry? Who at right back?
I haven't done the right back yet.
Did you say Saliba right back?
No, right centre half. So I've gone Kivior left back. Gabriel, I think, will be back at left centre half. I'm assuming Calafiori is going to be out, but Gabriel, by all accounts, is close. So I'm assuming he's fit. I think if you haven't got either of those, then I think you do go Tierney at left back, because I don't think Miles Lewis-Skelly is fit if he's only just returned to training, and it's not his proper position, and it's a huge game for him to start. But that's that. And then at right back, I think Timber needs a rest. He can't. I keep saying this. He can't go, so I go Partey at right back. So it's Partey at right back, Saliba at right centre half, Gabriel if he's fit, but if not, Kivior, and then Kivior at left back. But if Gabriel's still not fit, then it's Tierney goes in. So it's really difficult there because there's too many ifs, buts, and maybes. But obviously, if Gabriel and Calafiori are there, they both go straight in. But Timber's the one that I miss out. That's a risk if you've got no Gabriel and no Calafiori. But I'm really worried about Timber doing his ACL at the moment, and I just want him to have a rest at some point. And there's no margin for error in the Premier League. That means a midfield of Rice and Moreno. And then going forward, it will be Saka on the right, Odegaard, and Martinelli on the left. And I also would go Trossard up front because I think Havertz also needs that rest.
I'm pretty sure he's done that just to rattle Seb.
Big up.
30's 100%. 30's 100% done that. Big up, Posh. But yeah, so I mean, the defense, as I say, is too difficult to work out. But I'd say I think the key messages there are Havertz needs a rest, and I think it's just a rest rather than anything else. Just looks tired, and I'm really worried about Timber's ACL and him getting an injury, and that's why I go Partey at right back.
That's fair points. Nah,
I mean,
agree with that.
but as I say, if Gabriel and Calafiori are both missing, I think then you're just going to have to risk Timber again and just hope that he can still keep playing through, because Timber's playing fantastically well.
Yeah, 100%, man. Rory, bro, how you feeling coming to the game, and what would be your team, man?
Yeah, I'm confident that we can get something out of the game. Monaco are doing well in the league, to be fair. I think they're like third, probably the best they've done in a couple of years. But I think hopefully with us playing at the Emirates, it will give us a bit more freedom. I think we will have players back, hopefully anyway, in Gabriel and Calafiori. And if we have them two back, I think we will win the game quite convincingly. The team, I'm actually going for something different to all of you. I think this is the first time in a long time that we've actually disagreed on the lineup, because I actually would make a couple of changes. I agree on that sense, but I think obviously Raya, Timber, Saliba, if Gabriel's fit, then obviously he starts, and then you play Calafiori if he's also fit. Midfield will be Partey, Rice and Ødegaard, and then the front three I'd switch it up. I'll go Saka on the right, I'll go Trossard through the middle, and Sterling on the left.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, Sterling's not a bad shout to start, actually, to be fair.
Right.
Yeah, let's be honest. He can't do much worse than Trossard and Martinelli lately.
Well, he
And
also
he's
needs
been bad at
minutes.
it.
He needs minutes, right? He's barely played, and therefore it's really hard to judge him. By the way, I just also want to make a point. I agree entirely, and I've been really consistent on this for 3 years as a criticism for Arteta. When he doesn't like a player and he freezes him out, it's not helpful. I always said when people were criticising Edu for selling, sometimes it's not his fault because these players don't play, and how are you going to shop a player and get good value when they don't play?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's where I would agree on Kieran Tierney. Yes, he clearly doesn't have a future at the club. He's clearly not a tactical fit, and he clearly needs to move on. And I get why it's difficult to move him on with his injury, but it doesn't help when he is fit that he is ignored. He is a risk to play when he hasn't played for so long. Like, he hasn't played football in 6 months. That makes him a risk when he plays because he's massively unmatched fit. That's a risk.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But I also agree that, you know, you can't have a situation where you can't expect Arsenal to get big money for Kieran Tierney. Probably not anyway because of his injuries. But if he's not playing, well, it's almost impossible, right? And that's where I do agree with Seb. I've always said that, and Seb and I think have always agreed on that point. So it's rare we agree on stuff, but it's you know what? It's more the levels, right? Because Seb is you're very black and white, Seb, and I like that about you. Right, your opinion is very, very strong. I tend to be more of a nuanced position where I somewhat agree but won't go quite as far because I think I tend to put it more in the middle bit where it's a bit of this and I can understand that's where you're there. Yeah. But so actually we do agree more than it appears, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, with me, I think it's a case of, right, our fans love to, every time, this is what we're going to do. I'm more of that fan where I'm just like, show it to me. That's all I'm going to say. Like, I'm that sort of fan that doesn't give any hope, but just show me what you can do. Show us that you can win that league title. Show us that you can actually win a variety of other trophies as well if we have to. If we can't win the Premier League, just show me. And that's pretty much what I said when Arteta extended his deal. Show us what you got.
You're exactly right. We're in show me territory, right? I mean, that's been the case now for the last 12 months. Show me. We're in that territory now because we built the squad to the point where that's where we are now.
How's the season going for Nketiah? Well, to be fair, that's the only praise I'll give Edu, selling that guy for 30 million. So
he got good value there. I mean, Crystal Palace though are not playing well at all. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with him and Palace once they refine some form, because think they're a better side as a side than they are right now. And God, I hope they don't start finding form before they play us. It'd be a very Arteta thing to do. Go, hey, Palace, you're shit, but we're going balls up against you. But I think Palace are a better side than they're showing this season, and it'll be interesting to see if he's increased with
we all said Nketiah would succeed at Crystal Palace because he's in a team where the pressure's off and there's no pressure for him to actually score goals to win us a league title or nothing like that. So we all expected Nketiah to actually flourish at Crystal Palace, and he just hasn't.
No, he definitely hasn't. I mean, but
yeah,
Palace have been awful.
Yeah,
just collectively awful.
They've picked up some good results though recently. I kind of think they've turned the corner a little bit.
I think they will turn the corner. I agree.
Yeah,
and that's when our judge Nketiah is when Palace start playing better as well, because he's not a player that lifts the side by himself. He's a player when the team's playing well, he'll play well. When the team's playing badly, he'll play badly. He's that type of player.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that Palace Man City game, and his cameo was just less said the better, really.
Oh, he's awful off the bench.
He is. And the worst players I've ever seen. Like, I can't figure out whether we've actually kept Nketiah in the team, because at the moment, Jesus, it feels like throwing on Jesus is exactly like throwing on Nketiah.
I did toy with starting Jesus on Wednesday, but it's too important.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like when we played Jesus against Nottingham Forest, it kind of allowed us to play through Forest. You know what I'm saying? Whereas with Havertz, it encourages us to just loft the ball up to Havertz every time. And we don't want that.
Did you know
with Jesus.
Is this true? Do you know that Edu never wanted San Marino?
That was Arteta that pushed that one.
Arteta, yeah.
Arteta pushed that one. So that one's on him.
I mean, to be honest,
why is he not playing him?
I don't even blame Moreno, to be honest with you.
Sorry?
It's a manager.
He's picking over him.
He's not playing him. So how can we judge?
I did say.
But it's not his fault, though.
Well, he's barely played. It's like Sterling. It's like saying Sterling's absolutely rubbish. Well, he's not playing.
Didn't want Sterling either. He still went and did that instead of buying a proper attacker who we really needed. Still went and did it.
He's not played, and that's down to the manager.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't want him in the first place. So why are you buying people now you don't want? Even a myth.
Why are you asking me for?
Us as
fans. As fans. Judge them
why
on
is
the
he
pitch.
even? Yeah.
And when have we seen Sterling and Moreno touch grass?
Sterling came in as a loan, right? I mean, we've been over this a million times. As a loan deal,
didn't want him. So why is he buying him? They even said at the start, I don't want Sterling. And then in the end,
question to the manager.
We've been through this a lot.
Get the press conference, Seb.
Now we're suffering. Now we're suffering that we can't score goals and why with this. Now we're suffering.
Yeah, I agree.
All this. See what I say? It's back.
I agree, but you can't have a go at the player.
Yes,
you just
exactly.
can't.
I don't. I don't have a go at the player. It's not the player's fault. Who signs these players?
Moreno's crap, though.
Yeah, who signs these players when they're not good enough?
How can you say Moreno's crap when he's not played that much?
He isn't that good, but he isn't.
But it's not his fault. It's not his fault that he's not playing.
Guys, let's get some predictions for Wednesday, man. I've gone bold. I've gone 3-2 Arsenal goals for me. What about you guys?
3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal.
Seb?
1-1.
1-1.
Oh,
I think there's a bit of a confidence dip there, and I wouldn't be surprised if it continued that game.
Yeah.
Plus, this game's always been a problem for us.
Yeah,
it's been a problem for us. So I can see it ending a draw.
Yeah, because every time we pick up a bad result,
I can see us conceding first in this.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, right? Every time we pick up a poor result, it's
always
like,
exactly.
We follow up with another bad result. So it won't surprise me either.
It better not happen, and it certainly better not happen at the weekend. Otherwise, seriously.
I mean, we should beat Everton at home. Should have enough.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, big up everyone who came on today as always. Thanks everyone who tuned into the chat. Big up. You guys got anything coming up? You want to shout anything before we get out of here?
I mean, I've got a watch along Wednesday, so yeah, that's about it.
Dom?
I put out a video earlier
good
touching
video.
on Arsenal's attacking stuff and covering why Jesus is a big problem for Arsenal right now. Again, as always, thanks to yourself, Josh, Guna Gathering, and Online Big Blue, because all you three guys, well, three channels, I should say, because more than one guy. Guna Gathering and more than one, there's all you guys in here too. But you know what I mean. For all the support, I am 5 away from 50 subs, which is not bad for the first 3 weeks. 3 weeks tomorrow, I think it is, the channel launch. So thanks to all you guys and thanks for those that have subbed so far. It's gone way better than I expected. 555 views I've just seen in the last.
Nice.
That's in the last 14 days. So I'm quite happy with that. I just keep watching on repeat. It's just me. No, I'm joking. I'm not that sad. But yeah, so I'm really proud of that. But yeah, thank you to all three of you guys. I'm trying to get to 50k in 4 weeks. 50k, that would be amazing. 50 subs in 4 weeks. That's the aim. We'll see what happens. But yeah, as always, thanks. And I genuinely, I hopefully that Jesus video I put out earlier, they're the ones I really love doing rather than the match reviews. I love those sorts of videos. Hopefully that's quite thought-provoking. People enjoy it.
Guys, make sure if you haven't already, as Dom rightly said, he's literally so close to 50 subscribers. Anyone in the chat right now, go to the description and you'll find all the panelists down there. Go to his channel right now. I think you're on, there you go. I think you're on 46. So you're literally like...
Oh, it's gone up. Thank you.
Gone up, man. So
thank you to whoever just did it.
Look at this, Posh. What a joker.
Yeah. I don't know if Posh beat me to it or whether I beat him to it, but either way, we share the same sense of humour.
Seb, mate, do you want to shout your articles?
Yes, I've got one coming out, hopefully in the next coming days, where I've written all about this.
Why Partey shouldn't play it right back?
I've mentioned that as well. There's no way I'm ignoring that. Well, I've written about this setback and why I think it's happening. The main reasons why.
Yeah, that nice ones.
Seb's articles are always interesting reads. Actually, they're lovely and balanced. I really enjoy reading Seb's articles.
Thank you.
What I really like about them, actually, Seb, and look, I'm going to give you a bit of love here because people think we probably hate each other, which is not true. We always argue. Seb's a top guy, but I really love the articles where he talks about, I'm just making this topic up, like 10 best Arsenal players in whatever era or of all time. I really love those ones because I always message him because I'm a bit older and go, you left out so-and-so, which is before Seb was born, not before I was born. But I always love those ones the best. They're my favourite ones.
We haven't got, that's not coming up this week.
No.
There's more important things we need to write about, we need to address before we get out of this title race.
About why Ramsdale needs to come back.
Oh, Charlie Patino.
No comment. I'm just sick and tired of this. See, I'm so consistent with what I say, and then sadly, it all eventually comes true, which I don't want it to be.
Well, not always.
Patino.
Goodness sake.
Not always. Just to be clear.
Goodness sake.
The good news is though, Patino's made it for 152 minutes now this season. He played 89 minutes in the Copa del Rey.
No, just get on the winning run, and then let's just go. Get on the winning run, back again. No more, no messing around with the team. Then maybe we'll get somewhere. I'm telling you now, I'm not having Liverpool or Chelsea finish above us and take this title. I'm telling you, uncomfortable conversations need to be had. And this is.
At the risk of repeating what we've said about 470 times in the last 4 weeks, we actually agree with you.
Yes, guys. And by the way, Bless Up Cooper came on as always earlier, guys. He's a really nice guy, and he'll be coming on every Monday with us as well. But yeah, guys, obviously you can catch me. I'm going live on my other channel right in literally 10 minutes. I've got a Juventus fan coming on, so we'll be live for that one at about 8 minutes, 10:30, guys. So you catch me on there if you guys want to. And yeah, we'll be back obviously tomorrow. We'll do a press conference reaction for Arteta. Always, this guy loves his mind
How
games.
do you do a press conference reaction, by the way? He never says out.
I know,
Be
right?
excited.
It's the same every single. It's the same every single week. Mate.
It must be so frustrating.
Say be excited. Oh.
Go on, say that again.
I say be excited. Oh.
Excited.
It annoys me to this day. That.
It must be so frustrating being a journalist covering Arteta's press conferences, though, because
Yeah,
you
it
know
must
what
be.
the answer is going to
It's
be.
ask the same old questions.
Well, this is what all journalists ask managers, right? But you know, it's almost pointless because he never answers them.
Yeah, I know. It's
swear
so frustrating, man. It's so frustrating. But yeah, then obviously we'll be back Wednesday, guys. I got my guy Tony coming on for the watch along with us, so that should be a good one. And yeah, be all the same as always there. And then yeah, then straight away some Everton, build up for Everton, you know. And then yeah, I think it's League Cup after that, ain't it? The week after
Yeah,
Palace. So,
it's Monaco, Everton, Palace.
Yeah. Palace back to back. Yeah, wow. Be
Yeah,
interesting.
at home and away. Oh shit.
There we go.
And AFC always, I don't really do ranting like ever in any walk of life. Very rare I have a rant.
Do you not rant
very,
for-
very rare.
Dom, do you not run for like your NFL team?
No, we're shit. Like,
He's just used to it, bro.
yeah, mate, we are so bad. Like
What's like the NFL
we
team?
were playing. Hang on, we were playing a team the other day that wanted to lose against us, and we still managed to not win.
Oh my god!
So in the NFL, like the professionals, obviously they don't want to lose, but the fans sometimes want your team to lose because the worse you finish, the better the draft pick you get, which in theory should improve you. So sometimes like players like teams after like 8 weeks before the trade deadline closes will trade players, and they'll trade their best players away because they're worth more. Because you might get a second round pick, but that means you've got the 33rd pick if you're the worst team. So you trade away to try and finish as low as possible because it's how the American system works. But it's really hard to say what the comparison is in football because we have promotion and relegation and they don't.
Oh, okay.
By the way,
Ebbsfleet. That's a good comparison.
Oh, absolutely.
But by the way, Dom, you privately texted me at approximately 10 p.m. saying watch this. So what am I watching?
Party at right back.
I was waiting for that.
Look at Sam. He's not having it. He's not today.
Either this game or Everton. He's got to he's got to play. Timber needs a rest. We cannot risk him getting injured. It's not that I want Party at right back. To be clear,
bring a kid out of the reserves.
Okay, so
Nichols.
What they're doing.
Okay, real quickly, if he played Nichols and he gets done for 2 goals, like.
Well, it's better than playing Party at right back.
Well, it's not.
Yes, it is. Someone actually knows what they're doing, and the fact is, the wing backs are quick enough to overlap and get up and down. Party is not quick enough.
We don't play overlapping wing backs.
He's not good enough.
Yeah, but look, let me ask you this, right, before we come to a close. I know Josh wants to end it badly because he's had enough.
He needs a wee before he does his other stream. Ironically, while we're talking about streams.
How many goals have we conceded this season with Partey as a right back
through the right back channel
down his side?
It's not about that. It's not about that.
But it is.
Well, it is.
It's about what you do, and also how it affects your attacking play as well. Because you only use his anchor in midfield, you lose it. And then we're a completely different side without him in midfield. He's been our best midfielder this season.
Yeah, and I agree.
When wing backs are not quick enough to get up and down, Partey's not quick enough. You need to be quick to be able to be a fullback. Come on.
I agree with you. But you said once. What do you mean use your? Yeah, I will use my logic. Thank you very much. And if you actually understand. The point I'm making is Partey's not done a bad job at right back. He's just not a right back, which I agree with you.
He's not a right back. No one wants him there.
None of the goals we've conceded this season when he's played as a right back have been his fault. That is the point I'm making.
Nichols playing against Preston North End, fine. Nichols playing against Monaco,
Everton will be all right, surely.
no.
I don't see a problem with that.
They're still a Premier League team.
Oh yeah, they are good side. Yes.
Yeah, and Nichols just with that lack of experience.
That's all rather that. When's he going to get a game then?
Well, he's
Maybe
not.
League Cup.
He's not going. He's never going to be Arsenal's right back ever. He's going to be sold. Right, there's no question. Anyway, Josh, you probably want to end it because you probably want to, go somewhere quickly before you start a new stream.
Yeah, exactly, Dom. Nah, guys, big up. Nah, I really appreciate your time. Listen, if we had the time, we could be going on for hours, man. Like, especially with Dom and Seb, get the popcorn out lads every single stream. But listen,
imagine doing a charity stream.
Oh my days, man.
Yeah.
Oh my days.
All day.
But
24 hours.
24 hours of Seb.
To be fair, I reckon I could eat my dinner, go to Villa, and come back if I just went, Seb, Charlie Patino is rubbish. Go.
Yeah, the Jamie Vardy challenge.
2 hours off.
But yeah, big up, guys.
Yeah, what about Pedro Neto's crap as
Thanks
well?
everyone who tuned in today. Well, really appreciate it.
Would you rather have him in your side than what you got now? I think you would.
Josh, just end it.
We're getting out of here, people. Take care, everyone.